Good evening and welcome to Enid, Oklahoma, home of the Plainsmen, as we get set for some high school football this evening. Broken Arrow coming into this game at 5-3, while Enid is 3-4 on the year. Enid had a game in which they lost to COVID reasons, as Jinx actually made the trip all the way up here. And they had to cancel that game just a few minutes prior to kickoff, about a half hour prior to kickoff. Spav, fortunately, we don't have any indication that that's going to be the case tonight, and we'll get to play some football.
Absolutely. We need to play some football, too, because, it's just so important to play the game and get ourselves ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, one final game yet before playoffs get underway for these Broken Arrow Tigers. It's been a year that's been a little bit up and down for Broken Arrow. A very strong non-district schedule for the Tigers this year. They won games 1 and 2 before falling to Owasso. And then they've lost two heartbreakers to Jinx and to Santa Fe, both very, very close games, and both games in which Broken Arrow played pretty well over large portions of those games and then had some crucial mistakes that set them back. So this is a team that has shown that when it gets out of its own way, it can compete for a long postseason run.
Oh, I agree. 100%. We have the talent in the right positions. Our quarterback is getting a lot better as far as with the throwing the ball. He throws a good ball. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about with the passing game itself.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting so much better. Statistically, we're improving so much now, and that's a really confident builder when you get into the playoffs as well, because just as far as offense is doing it by creating, keeping defenses off balance, and the same thing with our offense. The conversion rates are improving in our benefit, and we're holding their opponents quite a bit as well.
Enid comes in with a record of 3-4 on the young season. The Plainsmen starting the season off with a win over Class 3A Medill, and then a win over Ponca City 19-17. They beat Medill 63-0, beat Ponca 19-17, dropped 3 in a row, make that 4 in a row before defeating Edmond Memorial on the road in Edmond 20-7. And then falling to Norman 2 weeks ago and Edmond Santa Fe just last week. Of course, the Tigers coming off of a win over Norman at home on last Friday. So Broken Arrow, it would appear on paper, has the advantage, but you play all the games for a reason. It's the final regular season game for these Broken Arrow Tigers, and we'll be looking to see not only the guys who perhaps have been banged up a little bit over the course of the year get a few more rests before playoff time, but also perhaps a chance to develop some depth as you go throughout this ball game also.
No doubt. I think that's really important too, is, you have to develop depth. That's the whole key to football. I really believe that. If you can do a great job developing depth, you're going to be successful every year. And that's what you got to do. That's why when you get ahead of ball games, you need to go ahead and put your others in, and then coach them up and make them compete at a high level versus their starting offense and defense. It's real crucial to do that. And tonight we may have a chance to do that. And that's what we need to do.
Ryan Wyckoff is our man down on the sidelines as the Tiger captains come out for the day. Who do you have for a look for captains for this game tonight, Ryan? Ryan may be missing his microphone. We had him a little while ago.
Okay, I'm back.
Hey, there we go.
He forgot to turn it on.
I've been down here for a while, so. We have 3, 6, 7, 8 captains this evening.
8 captains. I see Sanchez Banks out there.
I see Corey Williams. I see Jake Raines.
And what you see on the right there, number 77, that's actually Darian Moss. Darian Moss wearing 77 tonight in honor of his dad, who passed away 3 years ago tonight. And he will be the captain who steps up to midfield here to do the actual coin toss itself.
Now, is that Barnett in 12 as well?
That is Keon Barnett wearing number 12. He usually wears number 3. So that is correct. On the other side, C.J. Adams is the captain performing the coin toss for Enid. and the Plainsmen a 6'2", 285-pound defensive tackle. So he'll be a guy that the Tiger front has to move around a little bit today.
So are they just allowing one person at the coin toss now?
That would appear to be the case. And I think if I remember correctly, it has been a little bit on and off with that this year. It doesn't seem like it's been super consistent in one way or the other.
So that's kind of like a COVID rule?
It may
or
be.
You think?
The coin toss is in the air. And it looks like Enid has won the toss. We would presume that the Plainsmen will defer to the second half, but you never know. And they did indeed defer to the second half, so Broken Arrow will take the football. Enid's uniform's a little bit from distance of a Penn State look.
Mm-hmm.
They've got that kind of
that old traditional
dark navy blue, white block letters, white pants. The field is a little bit dark. It's a little tough to tell through the camera view here, but it's not a super well-lit field. What really makes it look dark is the navy blue seats across from us in the home stands. It's just kind of a dark void over there straight across from us.
And there's no lights in the stands itself.
Right. A smattering of fans here from the Enid side who are kind of scattered out all across the stands across from us. And we got some fans over on the visitor side from Enid as well, and a few have made the trip. Broken Arrow fans, that is, have made the trip over from Broken Arrow today. The band is sitting on this side of the field this year, so a lot of changes. All right, coin toss has been completed. The Tigers will get the football first in the white jerseys, black pants, black helmets with the BA logo on the side. Spav, we talked a little bit about a couple of the goals just in terms of improving from today's game. But in terms of simply going out and getting a win against the Plainsmen, what are a couple of keys tonight?
Well, obviously is just continue to keep the offense and defense of Enid off balance. And that's just dictating to them. And that's what we need to do. And that's keeping things simple and doing what we do. And then what we need to do within that is to work on the weaknesses that we have discovered on film. We need to continue to improve on those weaknesses and the fundamentals, because that's what's going to guide us through the playoffs next week. But, you know, just continuing with the little fundamentals of the passing game, the short passing game, the, you know, defense, playing good defense without blitzing. I mean, there's some things that we got to do to prevent ourselves from creating different levels. And there's just a lot of other little things, you know, continue to work on the boundary runs. We attack the boundary very successfully, and we need to continue to do that. And then we need to really continue to keep working with our jump shifts and trades with our formations.
That's what we'll be looking for out of the Tigers tonight. The clock, technically speaking, still says we got a couple of minutes before we get to action here, but both teams have arrived in their respective tunnels. As you see, the Tigers, they're about ready to run out. Still kind of backed up and in a holding pattern at this point. Broken Arrow looking to ride the performance of Marion Horn yet again. As the Tigers take the field, Horn has rushed for 991 total yards this year. He is approaching a spot in the record books as well. Horn a little over 100 yards away from a top 10 season rushing performance all time. Specifically, he is 114 yards shy of moving into the top 10 all time. He would be trying to
I coached 6 of those kids. I've coached 6 of those kids in the top 10.
Yeah, a lot of those have been in the last, well, 4 of the top 5 have been in the last 5 years.
Yes.
10 years. Going back to Devin Thomas in 2011, who holds the 3rd spot. But Marion Horn certainly has been impressive in terms of rushing this season. He's also been impressive catching the football this season. So he's a major weapon. And Horn will be back to receive this kickoff. R.J. Spears-Jennings going back as well, and J.L. Talley. And Spav, we are not seeing, at least as of yet, the Tigers put many guys deep to catch this ball. Right now, Horn's only standing at the 17-yard line. That may change when Enid trots its kickoff team out there, but it may be a sign of what they expect from Enid tonight.
Exactly. There must be something that they've shown on film and what they're doing, because our deep guy is on the 20-yard line, so there's something up here.
You got some guys up across the front line as well who are regular contributors. Sanchez Banks is up there, so there's some guys
like
with some good hands.
It's like we're in a hands team. It looks like the way they're doing their kickoff right now, they're bunched on both ends. Looks like there's 2 kickers.
Carlos Alvarado and Dagan Gibbons are both out there in the vicinity of where the 2 will be laid down, and now they jog an 11th guy, out onto the field. So that'll be Jonathan Villa doing the kicking duties here. A senior listed as a running back / linebacker. Some bright orange, kind of red-orange shoes.
Yeah.
One of which is about to get this game kicked off. We got 12 minutes on the clock. It is now after 7 o'clock, and we're about ready for football here in Enid. Tigers won this one going away last year on this field. I say on this field, it was really more on this property. The turf is new this year.
Right. It's hard to get a feel for the wind. There's nothing that shows.
No flags, nothing on top of the
wind, so I'm just kind of
nothing
curious.
on top of the field goal posts either. All right, here we go. The kick is away. It's a short kick caught at the 25 by Spears Jennings across the 30-yard line. He's got room to the 40, and it's a foot race. We'll see a kick return for a touchdown to start the game as R.J. Spears Jennings takes it 75 yards to the house, and just 11 seconds in, the Tigers are on the board.
Wow. I think I told you that our special teams were going to be a factor tonight.
It seems like we've discovered over the course of this year that the Tigers are pretty good with special teams.
Yes. Tim Holt does a great job.
Spears Jennings actually bobbled that briefly and then found the seam in a hurry. Let's go down to the sideline and Ryan Wyckoff. Ryan?
Yeah, just as you said, Spears Jennings, man, that ball just about came out of his hands, but something else to note, I think it was Marion Horn laid an incredible block and put somebody on their back. So definitely some teamwork going on for RJ to make that score.
And keep in mind, Horn was deeper than Spears Jennings was in the kick return formation, so he had to run past him to make that block. Kick is away, and it is good. 7-0 Broken Arrow leads, 11:49 to go here in the first quarter. And again, let's go down to the sidelines because Spav and I were discussing where we could see anything in terms of giving us a wind direction. And our trusty rusty sideline man, Ryan Wyckoff, has discovered there are in fact flags on top of the goalposts.
There are flags. I'm just not sure if they're orange. You can see them in it, but it's just like you said. It's like down here in the field, I get gusts coming back and forth, and then I look up there, and the flags are barely moving, but they are moving. It's just not in the direction of the field. It's going back and forth instead of left and right. But it's very gusty. It's inconsistent. I could see it maybe making more of a difference on a punt than probably a kickoff.
Is this an east-west field?
It is an east-west field, yes, sir. If my sense of direction, as long as my sense of direction isn't betraying me, but I spent a lot of time pheasant hunting in north central Oklahoma as a kid, so I should have a pretty good gyroscope going on up here. You would think, anyway. And now that Ryan mentions it, when I stand up and look through the open window, I can see the flags. With the reflection of the window itself, it completely takes them away.
It's so dark out there.
Especially, and that's up off the playing surface. The playing surface isn't as bad, and we'll see with Garrett, his kick is away, and I think we had a whistle that stopped that play right at the beginning. If the ball gets up high in the air, like on a high punt, if it hangs up a lot, that could cause some trouble as well.
I know. Yeah, I'm having kind of a tough time looking through this window.
Mason Garrett will tee the ball back up. Apparently, it was a good kick that he got away.
So why is it being kicked again?
I'm not sure. I never saw a flag.
There's no penalty.
Yeah. A whistle blew right at the beginning of that play. So I'm not sure if somebody, and we haven't had a timeout taken off the board. the ball had not been whistled into play. Goodness gracious, that's a boot off the right foot of Garrett, sails out of bounds. Villa, who was on the kickoff team, was the kick returner, but he won't have a chance on that one.
No.
A great kick from Garrett, 7-0, Broken Arrow. And the Tigers will play defense for the first time. The offense never got to come out on the field. So, the starting quarterback is Blake Priest, and he goes under center in an I formation. That's Villa in the backfield. They hand it off to him on the counter, straight at the middle. He's got a big hole across the 25-yard line, spins off a tackler, now pushed forward, and he's brought down at the 32, a gain of 12 on the first play of the game for the Enid Plainsmen offense.
Yeah, they got so many smoke and mirrors going right now. Just the formation itself dictated a lot of different things you can do. The quarterback was underneath the center. You had a tailback, and then you had a guy motioning as another back into the play.
So Villa in the tailback spot again. Single back set, pitch to him on the left side, trying to find the corner across the line of scrimmage, pushed out of bounds across the far sideline at the 35-yard line. On the tackle that time for the Tigers was Javion Franklin.
This is kind of unique what they're doing. This is pretty interesting, the formation and how they're doing things. That was just a toss sweep, which you don't see that very often. But what you don't see very often now is the quarterback underneath the center.
Yeah, we've not seen that a ton this year. We've only seen it even a couple times from the Tigers, for that matter. Mm-hmm. And it looks like Enid will switch to a pistol set here. Priest again, the tailback, or the quarterback. He'll hand it off straight up the middle. And bouncing off of a couple of tackles at first was Villa, but then he's wrapped up.
Yeah, our penetration stopped that play real quickly.
That brings up third down and about 4.
We'll see what they can do to throw the ball. Let's see what we do. 3rd and 4. We're going to put pressure. We just got to figure out where.
They split out trips to the near side, including Maddox Mayberry, a senior receiver, now a motion of receiver left to right. So Quan's on the near side. They throw it out to him. He's hit, but he dropped the football first anyhow. So it won't matter.
We play that so well. When they throw the flare, the bubble, we play it so well with our corners. You have to be, in order to run those plays against us, you have to be great blockers on the perimeter. Those receivers have to be great blockers.
That'll bring the punt team out for Enid. 10:40 to go in the first quarter. And Broken Arrow already leading 7-0. Horn is back at the Broken Arrow 30-yard line. The snap back to Villa, who's the punter. He kicks it away. It's a line drive kick, and it's in and out of the hands of Horn. He scoops it up, trying to come around the near side, spins off of a tackler. His hit bottled up and wrapped up at about the 31-yard line. That's a tough ball to catch, Spav, because it's coming at you in a line drive like that. And on the run, Horn had a tough time bringing it in, but was able to recover.
But if I'm not mistaken, was that a left-footed punter or right-footed?
Was he left-footed? It was hard to tell because he took about 6 steps before he punted it.
I know he went to the left, but it just looked like he was a right-footed kicker, and I couldn't figure that one out.
Came off his left foot is what we're being told. So we got a left-footed punter today for the Plainsmen, and he's already kicked one away. The Tigers, with their first official offensive possession, they hand it off to Sanchez Banks on the first play, and it's a gain of about a yard out to the 32-yard line. Not much doing there. Broken Arrow returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown if you're just joining us. 10:15 to go here in the first quarter, and Broken Arrow leads 7-0.
They're running a 4-man front, so it's something that we don't see very often is the 4-man front. Last 4-man front we really saw was Owasso.
And Enid's got some good size out there.
Not bad. We'll see how they move.
Shotgun set this time for Rains. Trips to the left side as Barnett motions from right to left across the formation. They give it to Barnett on the wide receiver screen, but the ball went through his hands, incomplete. And that will bring up 3rd down and 9 for Broken Arrow offensively here. Still 9:48 to go in the first.
Put a lot of pressure on it. 6-man pressure. I had to get the ball away pretty quick that time.
Now, the offense has been able to move the ball some for Enid this year. In fact, they put up 21 points on Santa Fe last week. It's the defense that has struggled. Third down and 9 here for Broken Arrow, however.
And they're looking like they're going to put pressure on them right now.
Raines wants to throw it, fires over the near side. It is caught across the 45-yard line and knocked down at the 49-yard line. That's Cade Matthews.
Very good protection. They had a 6-man pressure coming, great protection, and then a great route and throw. Excellent. These are the little things that we need to do offensively and do them well.
Cade Matthews catching his first pass of the season on that play to move the chains on third down and 9. Bunch right, 2 tight ends. Matthews out there as well. Here's the snap. They hand it off to Raines, right side, looking for Horn around the edge. He's got a little room across the 50-yard line to the 45. Steps out of bounds inside the Enid 40-yard line, but we have a flag down in the backfield in the area of what would generally be a holding.
Yeah, he's calling holding right now. And that was – I'm not so sure if that holding should have been called. I'm not saying it wasn't holding, but what I'm saying is it was so far away from the play. The point of the attack was on the perimeter, and that was probably 15 to 20 yards away.
Making things worse is the penalty occurred 4 yards deep in the backfield.
Right,
so effectively
exactly.
It's a 14-yard penalty.
Exactly.
As they move it all the way back to the Broken Arrow 36-yard line. First down and 24 for the Tigers. R.J. Spears-Jennings split out on the near side. 2 receivers split out right. Tight end left in the shotgun for Jake Raines, playing in his final regular season game as a Broken Arrow Tiger. And we have a brief whistle. We understand from Ryan Wyckoff on the sidelines that there's some debate over whether the ball was set and the Tigers could potentially false started. And that is, in fact, the call. Well, that's a couple of times already in this game in which the ball being ready for play has come into effect, whether or not it was, in fact, ready for play.
That's true.
Okay, make it 1st and 29 for Broken Arrow from all the way back at its own 31. The Tigers need the Enid 40
okay, we're going to throw
for
the
a first
ball
down.
here.
And now the officials are holding up the snapping of the football. What are we waiting on at this point? Oh, got to start the clock. All right.
Okay, we're going to throw the ball here.
I didn't know that extra official was a thing at this level. Here's a snap. Handoff on the jet sweep. That's a loss of about 6 yards back to the 25. Second down. And I think the ball has actually been marked all the way back in Broken Arrow city limits at this point as the Tigers move east to west on this drive. 8:35 to go in the first quarter. Broken Arrow already leading 7-0, but right now facing second down and sheesh, 10, 20, 34. 2 receivers split right on the wide side of the field. The ball on the near hash from our perspective at the top of the visiting stands. Raines is going to throw. Pump fakes. It's a double move. Looking to throw it deep over the left side. And Spears-Jennings couldn't quite catch up with it. That'll make it 3rd down and 34 for Broken Arrow.
That was a good call, though. I like the double move call. And throwing it to a tall receiver. I like that.
The problem they had was John White, who was the senior defensive back in coverage there, was spotting Spears-Jennings about 5 yards even as he was making that double move. So he was able to stay with him.
Yeah, they're just, they're 10 yards off him.
Why would you pressure
you don't
on
want to
3rd and
press
34?
Man, yeah.
2 receivers right, motion from left to right for Broken Arrow. Here's the snap. They hand it off straight at the middle and immediately swallowed up as Sanchez Banks. On the tackle there was C.J. Adams. We mentioned the size up front for Enid. 6'2", 285 pounds is Adams, and that brings up 4th down and a country mile.
That's twice that young man's made the play. C.J. Adams, that's twice he's made play. He's a pretty good player.
Banks will stay on the field as part of the punt team. The Tigers 2 penalties for 19 yards. They've rushed the ball for -4 yards so far. Here's the snap. Seth Dodd puts his right foot into it. It is a good kick. Hits at the 40, takes a Broken Arrow bounce, but is scooped up at the 35-yard line, and some room to work here for Enid across the 40 to the 45. And out of bounds on the return there was Maddox Mayberry, the senior receiver, with a good return, and Enid very good field position to start this drive with 7:29 to go in the first.
Well, the kid made a good play of just picking the ball up and, fielding the ball, because we had a great punt, and it was going to roll forever. And so that kid did a good job and allowed him to have good field position right now.
And frankly, he got a little bit lucky because the ball bounced straight at him. If it had hit in slightly in either direction, that would have been almost impossible for him to pick up. All right, the quarterback, Priest, in the shotgun. He's got Villa to his right, 2 receivers right, and a tight end right as well. Now motion from right to left from Mayberry across the formation. They snap it to Priest, wants to throw it back the other way. He's got a man. It's caught at the 40 and knocked forward to the Broken Arrow 37-yard line. That's Mayberry. Spav, they sent him in motion right to left and then wheeled him out.
Interesting play. Ran sprint out over here and then pulled up and threw it backside.
A little trickeration from head coach Rashawn Woods, who's the offensive coordinator and receivers coach. I can't imagine a guy much more well-suited to coach receivers in Oklahoma high school football than Rashawn Woods.
That's true.
Still holds the record for single game touchdown receptions at Oklahoma State University. 2 receivers right, 1 left. They motion again across the formation. Here's the snap. Throw it to the near side. It's caught on the wide receiver screen across the 35-yard line, and Dodd makes the tackle at about the 32, maybe the 33. That was Tyler Collerton on the reception.
A little more yardage than I anticipate they'd get. That's like 4 yards gaining there. It wasn't a real pretty pass, so he didn't have a chance to really catch the ball cleanly and still made 4 yards.
And excuse me, that was Cam Mathis on the reception that time for Enid. 2 receivers left, 2 running backs in the backfield now. They motion Villa out. Priest wants to throw, dumps it off over the near side. It's nearly intercepted. Couldn't quite haul it in. That was Sterling Ramsey.
He sniffed that out, didn't he? They're trying to run a screen, which is, I can understand the screen, but, to me, the screens are not going to be real successful unless you can throw deep.
6:17 to go in the first quarter. Broken Arrow leading 7-0, looking for its 4th district win of the year. Enid has it 3rd and 6 at the Broken Arrow 33-yard line. Trips left on the wide side of the field. Villa motions out of the formation. They throw it to him on the left side, looking for that bubble screen, and it was a little out in front of him. He knocked it down with the left hand, but couldn't bring it in. That brings up 4th down now for Enid.
Well, they're not running those bubbles, those flare bubbles like you should. They're running them downhill. You gotta flare those babies and have a nice pass. You have to give the receiver room and space to make a move.
I was taught when I was playing receiver that on those bubble screens, you've got to add yourself 3 yards of depth, essentially from where you started, to allow the quarterback space to throw it out in front of you.
And then you can run up to get it.
Marion Horn is playing corner on the far side of the field here on 4th down and 6. We heard from Coach Alexander in the middle of the week on Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Crib, that we might see that some this week, and we've already seen it here. But we've got a timeout called. I believe it's Enid that called the timeout. 6:11 to go here in the first quarter. Broken Arrow leading 7-0, and Enid has 4th and 6. And for a team that knows that it's going to have to play pretty well to get a victory against Broken Arrow tonight, Enid really needs to pick this up.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose. They're in 4-down territory. Go for it. But what Enid needs to focus on is first downs. They need to focus on getting first downs instead of touchdowns. That is going to lead to scores, and it's going to lead to possession time, and it's going to keep the ball out of our hands.
And frankly, Spav, with that flare screen, had that been completed and he got 3 yards, this is a much more manageable 4th down for Enid here.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's 4th and 6, 2 receivers to either side, including Andrews lined up wide on the near side outside the numbers. In the slot near side, it's Slater. Priest in the shotgun, motion Slater across right to left. Here's the snap. Wants to throw it, looking left, fires left side. It's caught at the 28-yard line, spinning forward. Villa has the first down to around the 21. there was a lot going on design-wise on that play.
A lot of smoke and mirrors. There's the motion, the wide receiver motion, the back. There's a lot of things going on there. But the way they motioned him, and it's kind of like running that wheel route again. Mm-hmm. He just hit that thing downhill, and we just ran off all the secondary, and he threw that thing right downhill at him.
Both of the actual wide receivers out there just ran clear routes, and I think that motion was intended to draw the eye so they didn't see the running back out there.
Right.
Hand off to Villa, right side over the tackle, and he stumbles forward, a gain of about 5 yards down around the 15-yard line. Seth Dodd on the tackle, the senior Mike linebacker who started the year as a punter and has ended up in the middle of this Broken Arrow defense and performed quite well. Franklin out of the game. Williams, the corner on the near side. He will be guarding Tyke Andrews. Motion right to left. Here's a snap. They hand it off over the right side. Not a lot of room to work that time for Villa. He was bottled up by several Tiger defenders.
This is where we're getting better because statistically in the red zone, we're getting a lot better.
Darian Moss in on the stop there, as well as Garrett Hinesley. That brings up 3rd down and 5 from the 16-yard line, from Broken Arrow's 16-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Enid with the ball moving left to right, trying to get in the end zone and potentially tie this game up. BA leading 7-0.
Right. And everything condenses now. Your flares, your screens are not going to be as successful.
The Tigers back off the line of scrimmage defensively on 3rd down and 5. Motion across the formation from Mayberry. Here's the snap. Want to throw left side. It's behind the intended target and incomplete. On the coverage on the far side was Jalen Johnson, and it brings up 4th down and 5. And for a second consecutive attempt, Enid will go for it.
Yeah, that was a bad throw right there. Just trying to run that play action slant. But what was interesting is the way he handled it, it was more of like a sweep instead of a zone action. It was more of a sweep action to throw that slant route.
Tiger opponents this year just 27% on 4th down attempts, 4 of 15 coming into the game. Now Enid's 1 for 1 tonight. 4th down and 5, motion left to right. Here's the snap. Priest looking right, pump fakes. Now he's in trouble, has to run, fires it towards the back of the end zone. It is incomplete. Dropped in the front corner of the end zone. Now there might have been a Tiger that got a hand on it, but that was Andrews who was in the end zone and just couldn't quite haul it in. Let's go down to the sideline and Ryan Wyckoff.
I'll tell you, these end zones are dark, but it looks like Corey Williams may have had a hand on that. I think that's like one of those drills whenever you've got somebody in your face and you have that hand up and you practice catching it. So I definitely think he had someone in the face. There was definitely Corey Williams definitely had a hand in that.
Ryan, you mentioned the end zones being dark. I think if you stood at the front pylon, we could see you, but I think if you stood on the back pylon, you would just disappear into the north central Oklahoma night. 1st and 10, handoff Marion Horn over the left side, and he's got about 4 yards out to the 19-yard line, bringing up 2nd and 5, maybe 6. 4:11 to go in the first quarter, and Broken Arrow leads 7-0. Spav, a big stop for the defense, and now the offense can put the pedal to the metal.
Huge stop. But we've been playing really well in the red zone here lately, and I like what we're doing. So we're just toughing it up. But also you got to understand that everything is constricted when you get into the red zone because there's no vertical routes or anything of that nature.
Two guys went into motion at the same time, but both will have the opportunity to come set. Here's the snap. Raines looking left. He's hit immediately. Pressure off the right side, and that is a sack back to about the 17-yard line, bringing up 3rd down and long. Again, coming through on the pressure that time, it looked like was Luis Vega, the senior linebacker.
Yeah, we were trying to leak the back out in a route right there. He was open. The back was open in a route, but he just didn't have time to throw it.
Spav, how do you try to address all this pressure? Enid's bringing a lot of it.
I know. We just have to solidify our protection.
3rd down, and we'll call it a long 12 from the 13-yard line for Broken Arrow. Raines back to pass, looking left, throws it near side. He's open, and it's caught by Spears Jennings across the 35-yard line, powering forward to about the 40. That'll be a big gain and a 1st down, give him 23 on the play. Spears Jennings ran a very nice route because he jabbed right. Both defenders went that way, and it left him wide open on the flag route.
He's good. I love what he was doing right there. and we went into some more max protection, which is good. We're leaving the tight end in for protection, so that's one thing we need to do.
Good ball by Jank Rains as well. 2 receivers right. Here's the snap, handoff to Horn, looking for the edge. He found a little bit of one. Give him 3 yards out of the 43-yard line. And Spav, you mentioned that max protection. When you have receivers on the outside like J.L. Talley, R.J. Spears-Jennings that are talented enough, they run routes well enough, you can keep a little more of that protection in there because they can get themselves open.
And especially when it's one-on-one coverage now, because they're blitzing so much, they have to man up on the corners.
2 tight ends in the game right now for Broken Arrow. Talley split right, Spears-Jennings split left, pistol set. Rains takes the snap, looking left, wants to throw, fires out to the near side, caught by Spears-Jennings at midfield. He should have, oh my, okay.
Oh,
he'll be
man.
a little short of the first down.
Woo.
It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Wow.
7-0 Broken Arrow,
Not
leading
sure
with
about
less
that
than 2
spot.
minutes to go here in the first quarter. Handoff straight up the middle. Marion Horn has the first down across midfield,
Nice.
and he's brought down after a gain of 5 to the Enid 46-yard line.
Yeah, we just lined up and tempoed that and kept them off guard.
I would imagine, Spav, that if you consistently did that, just tempo, hand it off right up the middle, you're probably going to gain 4 to 6 yards on average.
Absolutely.
With that tempo. As good as
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of improvement from the offensive line recently.
Especially when the team blitzes so much. When they blitz so much, they have to look on the sidelines, and there has to be a lot of communication.
That's Matthews split out far to the right side. Barnett in the slot. Here's the snap. Handoff near side. Big hole. Sanchez Banks cuts inside him in at the 40. It's a foot race inside the 30. Right side to the 20. Heading towards the front pylon. He's inside the 5. Touchdown, Sanchez Banks.
Oh, what a great run.
Started it out on the left side. A huge hole. He wasn't touched for the first 5 or 6 yards there. And once he got to that second level, he saw the cutback lane, stuck his foot in the ground, and then some really good downfield blocking as well. I think that was Matthews that threw the block out there and sprung Sanchez Banks the rest of the way.
Well, it was impressive. By us trading our tight ends, by moving them up from one side to the other, you're changing the strength. And what happens is they're not adjusting when they're blitzing so much. They're not able to blitz. And then what happens, we're catching them on a blitz away, and we're just creating a whole scene.
Point after attempt was good. There's the cut again from Banks, and now we can get a look. Who is that out there? Yeah, that was Matthews, who already has a big first down catch earlier in the game, just kind of running interference
Yes.
down there to let Banks make that cut off of him. 14-0 Tigers, 1:18 to go here in the first quarter of play. And Broken Arrow has opened up a 2-possession lead after the 46-yard touchdown scamper from Sanchez Banks. Banks went over 20 career touchdowns 2 weeks ago.
He had a great game, didn't he, last couple of weeks ago? Just a fantastic job. He's just getting better and better every game.
One thing we heard from Sanchez Banks earlier in the year, it was he and Marion Horn's goal to each rush for more than 1,000 yards this year, which is potentially still in play. Horn is now over 1,000 yards on the year, and Banks is right around 700. But they've now combined to score 23 rushing touchdowns this year.
Right, unbelievable.
Kickoff team back on the field. Mason Garrett has it teed up at the 40. He kicked it almost out the back of the end zone on his first kickoff of the day. You can hear the Enid band just down and to our right, playing as we await the right-footed kick here of Mason Garrett. The kick is away. This one's a little shorter, higher, end over end, but it still carries Villa 2 yards deep into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback.
Now, this will be what we need right here, is just to get that 3 and out right now to change the field position. We can't let them drive, get a first down. The first series they had a first down, then we held them, and then they drove the ball real consistently on us, and we've got to prevent that in the open field. Where we start solidifying our defense is when we got closer into the red zone.
Enid is averaging 4.5 yards per play. You mentioned them needing to focus on getting first downs. 4.5 yards a play will do that for you. Motion again. They hand it out to Villa.
Nice.
Trying the crossover action there against the motion, and he's not able to get anywhere. Maybe a yard out to the 21-yard line.
Well, we've kind of figured that out because, previously they've been getting, 5, 6 or more yards per play on that certain play. And so we kind of figured it out. That's a good.
That was Lance Young leading the way on the tackle there. Priest in the shotgun again. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Tight end on the right side of the formation as well. That's Mayberry in motion. Now they bring him back to the near side. Here's a snap, handoff to Villa. Big hole up the middle. First down yardage across the 30. Breaks the tackle, and he's into the open field to the Broken Arrow 40. They're trying to chase him down across the 20, and he's pushed out of bounds at about the 12-yard line, straight up the middle. Villa busts a big one, and Enid is threatening again.
What great effort, though. Oh, my gosh.
We have not seen many big open field runs like that for Broken Arrow opponents this season.
But, God, I mean, we chased it down. We did a great job chasing it down because here's the deal. We're good in the red zone, statistically, especially on defensively. But the whole point is they have to snap the ball again.
Yep. And you just came up with a stop inside your own red zone a moment ago. I formation this time. They fake the handoff, rolling right. Now throws it back over the left side of the formation, and Villa is wide open for the touchdown. They faked the handoff to him, rolled to the near side, and then Villa ran the wheel route up the far side. It's similar to what we've seen from them a couple times now.
It's like that counter boot wheel, and that's.
And part of the way that's successful, Spav, is because they ran it to the short side of the field. He doesn't have to run as far on that wheel route that way. And the throw is shorter, for that matter. 14-6, Broken Arrow still leads.
And the thing is when you're playing a lot of man like we are right now, you're getting a lot of people in the line of scrimmage, and then it's sometimes you lose those backs. You lose the backs.
The kick just snuck over the crossbar and got in. 14-7, Broken Arrow leads with 8 seconds to go here in the first quarter. We'll go down to the sidelines and Ryan Wyckoff. Ryan?
Well, I still think there may be something too going short over that side, over that crossbar, Adam. We talked about it earlier, but on that side of the field, that net only goes up about halfway to the field goal post, and so
you lose about 10 balls a game.
I was talking to some of the Broken Arrow coaches, Spav, and they told me they'd already lost 2 balls tonight. So.
Oh, I know. When I used to play here, they didn't have a net.
Ryan, I have a theory.
What's that?
It could be that that's the kicker's girlfriend's house, and the parents told him if you hit our house, you can't date her anymore.
Shit. Hey, I'll tell you something else, man. The band being on this side, guys, I don't know if it's how the stadium is situated or what, but that band is so loud, and actually the fans are actually almost right on top. It's kind of like an Oklahoma State kind of vibe where, I saw one play where it almost looked like a late hit or something, or so the Enid fans thought, and they were standing up right on top. So there actually is quite a bit of noise just kind of out here in this quiet field house.
Yeah, were it not for just a few pretty lightweight chains, you could literally just walk out onto the field here at D. Bruce Selby Stadium. The kick is away. It is a short, high kick. Talley catches it at the 30-yard line, steps inside of a man, tiptoes up the sideline, and is shoved out of bounds around the 39-yard line. Another decent return. Remember, the Tigers returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. 14-7, Broken Arrow leads with just 4.5 seconds to play here in the first quarter. So the Tigers will have one offensive play, and then that'll be the end of the first. Spav, I have to ask. You have a Denver Public Schools notepad. Where on earth did you get a Denver Public Schools notepad?
It's athletics. I don't know. I don't know where
Somebody
I got
just
it.
was an admirer and sent you a stationary gift at some point.
I think I was at a clinic and got it.
We found my dad, I couldn't even tell you who it was. He found a hat that was about 40 years old from a Kansas City Chiefs player camp that he hosted that my dad officiated at.
Oh, man.
Handoff straight up the middle for a gain of about a yard. And that will end the first quarter. It was Sanchez Banks on the carry. And on the tackle for the Plainsmen that time was Sean Graves. So that will end the first quarter with Broken Arrow leading 14-7. We'll take a break, flip the field around, and be back with more in just a moment. This is Broken Arrow Tiger football on ArrowVision.
Yeah, I don't know where I got it.
For families who like to build their wealth while staying liquid, we have flexible rate CDs to keep your funds working hard, even when you're not. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Finding your happy place is something special, and it's different for everyone. You probably already know where to find yours, and TTCU Federal Credit Union can help you get there. Right now, you can earn up to a $200 bonus when you open a new checking account with direct deposit. So wherever your happy place finds you, TTCU will meet you there. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Back here in Enid, Oklahoma, 2nd down and 9 for the Broken Arrow Tigers, leading 14-7 over Enid. Raines throwing left side of the field. It is too high, but incomplete. Barnett laid a hit on the defender who was trying to intercept it. That was Dagan Gibbons, who nearly picked it off.
Too. He had a lot of pressure.
Indeed. 14-7, excuse me. Broken Arrow leading. We're just 5 seconds into the second quarter. Spav, apparently my father is listening. Bill Moss, does that name ring a bell to you?
Yes.
So apparently he hosted a football camp that my dad officiated at. And we were clearing out the attic a few days ago and found it.
Awesome.
So that hat is no more, sadly.
I know.
14-7. Broken Arrow on top. It's 3rd down and 9. Rain's going to throw again, looking left, starts to step up and scramble. Now cuts inside across the 40-yard line, slides down near the first down marker. He's got enough forward at the 44-yard line.
Nice job.
Good awareness there from Rains to know where the marker was and make sure he got past it.
Correct. He did a great job.
They gave
Not taking a hit. You don't want him to take a hit because you have to understand it's our ball.
They gave him the 45. That to be honest, looked like a little bit of a generous spot.
I know, man.
11:37 to go here in the second quarter, and Broken Arrow up by a touchdown. One receiver to either side. Tally on the near side. They hand it out to Horn. Look out for that hole. He is undercut, though, at the 49-yard line of Enid. The defender got around to block and made the tackle, but boy, that was great blocking up front.
There was a hole a mile wide. That secondary guy came off a block and made the play. Otherwise, that scored. I mean, untouched.
2nd down and 3 coming up now for Broken Arrow. Once again, back into Enid territory. Other than that first possession that went sideways with all the penalties, Broken Arrow hasn't had any troubles moving the ball.
No, they haven't. And I don't think they will either. I like the way they're doing things because with the 4th down lineman.
Spears Jennings split out left. Matthews in the slot left. They hand it off to Horn, stepping his way through the middle of the line and flung down forward at around the 39-yard line of Enid. Again, that will move the chains. 1st and 10 Broken Arrow. 10:47 to go.
He does such a great job surfing and finding the opening. I mean, I haven't seen a running back like that in a lot of years that can do that.
And it's been made easier for him in terms of surfing tonight because the line is being pushed forward. So he's gaining yards while being patient.
Correct.
And waiting for that hole to open up, and then he goes and gets another 5 or 6. They hand it off to Horn. Not so much to work with on the left side this time. He may have lost a yard back to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, we're pulling the counter pull, and it just, we got to get the backside blocks, and we didn't make that happen. It's tough when you're moving, you're blitzing a little bit, and then you're pulling 2 linemen. It's hard to get that back block.
Sanchez Banks into the game. Marion Horn out. For those of you watching, or rather listening on the audio-only stream, Horn has a white sock and white ankle tape on his right leg and a black sock and black ankle tape on his left leg tonight. 2 receivers left, 1 right, tight end right. They'll dump it off to the near side. It's over the outstretched hand of Sanchez Banks. Again, there was pressure in the face of Jake Raines. It brings up 3rd down and 11 here for Broken Arrow.
Yeah, that was an interesting route. I mean, that was just a flag out route there, and they were both covered real well.
Broken Arrow's had a little bit of a rough go of it so far. Somehow, though, Spav, with an average distance to go on 3rd down of 13 yards, Broken Arrow's 4 for 5 on 3rd down.
I know.
Here's the snap for Jake Raines on
There's
3rd and
what we're
11.
gonna
Near
run.
side, It is too high, incomplete. He was looking for Matthews.
And he had it too. That's what I thought we were going to run. He ran a curl route in there, outside curl. I thought we were going to show vertical and run the comeback route, which is what we do very well. Ball's just a little too high.
4th down and 11 here for Broken Arrow with 9:44 to go before halftime. Dodd back to kick it away. Puts his foot into it from the 50-yard line. It hits at the 10, rolling towards the end zone. Couldn't quite get to it.
What a great punt, though.
The effort was there trying to scramble that football from Logan Diller, who's the long snapper. He got upfield in a hurry. Almost made the play.
What a great punt, though. It almost died right there.
Let's go down to the sideline again, and Ryan Wyckoff. Ryan?
You know, something to notice, Jalen Johnson, man, he beats everybody down the field every single time. That last time the guy caught the ball that had bounced on a punt, he basically overran him, and this was kind of the same thing. He was ahead of the ball, and so if Jalen Johnson maybe slows down or has a better awareness of where that ball is, he's got that.
Getting upfield in a hurry. Here's a snap on 1st and 10 for Enid, rolling to his right and flings it out. It's caught at the 26-yard line.
God.
Priest was the one that threw. We have a flag back at the line of scrimmage, excuse me. We'll see what the flag was. I'm also not entirely sure who caught that ball. He was swallowed up as soon as he caught it. Illegal man downfield called against Enid. That'll back the Plainsmen up to the 15-yard line. 1st and 15 from there. 14-7, Broken Arrow leading. Enid 0 for 3 on 3rd down, despite their average yards to go only being 5 yards. That's less than half of what Broken Arrow's average has been. Priest in the shotgun. He motions Slater across the formation, handed off again across the middle. Villa tripped up, but brought down very near the 1st down marker. They're marking him right at the 30-yard line, and that will give him the 1st down.
Yeah, a little cutback motion. Moved it, ran the cutback. We got a little upfield on the backside blocker. See, that's one thing you got to be careful with backside is you got to be flat down the line of scrimmage and not up the field.
Proper technique, you run right into the running back there essentially on the cutback attempt. Handoff to Villa over the right side. He is hit quickly and brought down at the 31-yard line. That was Dakota Tomlinson leading the way on the tackle that time. It brings up 2nd down and 9.
Great tackle.
Jadaean Floyd right involved in that one as well. Second down and 9 for Enid from its own 31-yard line. Broken Arrow leading 14-7 with 8:20 to go in the 2nd quarter. Trips left on the wide side of the field. Now the motion, another man over there, so 4 receivers on the near side. Here's the snap. Priest wants to throw deep up the left side. He's got a man, but it's too far out in front of him. Slater was open up the near sideline, but he overthrew him, and it brings up 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, a little mix-up there. Little confusion there.
This is a defensive secondary for Broken Arrow that has been very, very good over the course of the year. But there are some exotic things happening with some of these routes and combinations right now for Enid, and it's taking the Tigers a little while to adjust.
Correct, and we haven't seen a lot of it, I take it.
I haven't seen a lot of these concepts ever. They look new to me just in general. Trips to the near side again, including Cam Mathis out near the numbers. Now motion from Slater back towards the formation. Halts and comes back to the near side. 3rd down and 9, a whistle. And a timeout called by Enid. Coach Woods didn't like what he saw, apparently.
That was like
the main one in motion.
That was like in college football. They're going to review the play.
Somebody from the replay booth hit the button just in time.
Yeah, I know. You could tell right there. It's 3rd and 8. You could, our defensive linemen were in sprinter stance. They were ready to come after the ball, and they were going after it. And of course, Billy Gates coaches them, and he does a fabulous job with the D-line. And you could tell that they were really coming after him. One person I missed, I just talked about Billy Gates, is Michelle Gates. Oh my gosh. The crazy lady. She's the crazy Gates family. I miss those days.
This being my first year, I have not had the pleasure.
Well, Billy Gates, his wife, Michelle, man, they're just crazy. They're good people.
Anytime you can be around good people, that's the
Yeah,
spot I want to be.
they're fun.
3rd down and 9 for Enid from its own 31-yard line, moving right to left. Blue jerseys, white pants, silver helmets with the blue number on either side. Again, motioning to the backfield. It's the same formation. They motion him back to the near side. That's Slater. Here's the snap. Priest wants to throw. Pressured up the middle. Now rolling left. Launches it up the field to no man's land. It's nearly intercepted.
Wow.
But Johnson couldn't quite get to it. I'm not sure if that didn't come out of his hand right or if he thought his wide receiver was going to break that direction. But there were 2 Tigers closer to the ball than any receiver.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was trying to throw it out of bounds or what. And then
let's go down to Ryan Wyckoff.
Yeah, something to note on that one is the wide receiver in the corner actually came over to the sideline like they were going back and forth. And so basically I'm saying that was probably a broken route of some sort. And so I think he probably got there late or something because both of those guys were over here on the sideline.
yeah.
The punt team is on the field for Enid. It's Villa, the running back to do the punting. That time he kicked it with his right foot, but the Tigers ran into him. It's caught by Horn back at the 30-yard line. He'll return it, but it won't matter. We're going to have to do this again. He got it out to the 40-yard line before being brought down. They didn't hit him very hard, and he was on both feet at the time.
Right.
And the Tigers have blocked a couple of punts already this year, and the way we've seen it start off, may get to one tonight, but weren't quite able to get to that one.
I'm just curious to see how they're going to call this.
There seems to be some discussion taking place on exactly how they want to call it. Is that a ref cam on the brim of his hat?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, no, it's a microphone. He's got his microphone turned up. We have a false start called against the punting team also. He's trying to help his microphone, trying to turn on his microphone. Was that the only flag? So they did not throw a flag. Both officials threw a flag when he hit him.
Yeah, but I guess they're saying, I don't know.
The sticks are still done here. They got to wait on the sticks to come up.
I'm confused. I think they are too. The officials are too.
Sure enough. All right, the first down markers have been set up, and it's Tigers football at their own 46-yard line. Broken Arrow leading 14-7, 7:50 to go in the second quarter. Handoff near side. Sanchez Banks cuts it up across the 50. Steps inside of a tackler, lost the football. There's a scramble for it at the 45, and there's a lot of blue jerseys in the area. That's in a dangerous spot.
Ooh, we got it back.
The Tigers got back on it. Johnny on the spot was Nick Fuller,
wow,
who was able to dive down there and get on the football. Broken Arrow maintains possession. It ends up being a 9-yard gain.
What's going on here?
Second down and 1. We've got a pause and a stoppage. 7:26 to go. They're going to reset the play clock, which is at 25 seconds, and now they'll roll everything.
This head officials got me so confused.
Pistol set, H-back right. The handoff, big hole at the middle for Morion Horn. He was going to go the distance, but he got tripped up by, I believe, a defensive back. That was Reese Slater, who shot in from the right side and got him. Otherwise, he was gone.
I think that's the same one that got Banks at one time.
He
he came off a block.
Horn saw the seam from the backfield. That was actually John White that got him. Horn saw the seam from the backfield and just bang.
Yeah.
I think he saw the end zone from about 5 yards deep.
He accelerated there.
Look at this cutback from Morion Horn across the near side of the 35. Makes a man miss inside the 25 and knocked out of bounds around the 20-yard line. They handed it off to him left. There was nowhere to go. And he was, again, Spav, the surfing, the patience. And then when he realized he had the cutback, he just bang up the near side of the field.
I thought he was gone there. What a move he put on 21.
They mark him out at the 18-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 as the Tigers are back in the red zone, leading by 7. 6:47 to play in the second quarter. Tight end to either side of the formation. Wilhite on the left side. They fake the handoff. Raines
Nice.
rolling left. Throws it
Nice.
back over the middle of the field. It's caught there by Spears Jennings inside the 5. Breaks a tackle, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown Tigers. Spears Jennings willing his way across the goal line,
Nice.
and Broken Arrow goes back up by 2 scores.
I love the drag route. You know, they had the short split into boundary. He dragged across, just patient. He dragged over top of the linebackers with the play action.
Gibbons,
Really
the defensive
smooth.
back, committed the cardinal sin, which was he tried to put his head down to tackle, and when he did that, his teammate Slater actually knocked Spears Jennings out of his path, and so no
Right.
contact ever happened between Gibbons and Spears Jennings, and Spears Jennings able to cross the goal line. The PAT is good, 21-7. Broken Arrow
Nice.
leads, 6:39 to go before halftime. And Spav, the Tiger offense, after that first actual possession where it went backwards due to a whole bunch of penalties, now has put up 177 yards,
Right.
109 of those on the ground, averaging 7 yards a carry. Broken Arrow is pretty much having its way offensively right now.
Well, you know, and defensively we're doing a great job because they can't convert a third down. And that is really hurting them. So defensively, when we get to the point to where we solidify, we get them in a third and long or third down, we're going to stop them.
And when you say can't convert a third down, they literally have not in the game.
Really?
Enid is 0 for 4. Now they're 1 for 2 on 4th down, but they're 0 for 4 on 3rd down. Now the anomaly here so far, because of the opening kick return for a touchdown, is that Enid is actually averaging more yards per play than Broken Arrow, 7.8 compared to
Right.
7.1.
Right.
Yet the Tigers lead 21-7.
And a lot of that is you would think would be possession time, but it doesn't fall that way on here.
And Villa had that 68-yard run that kind of tilted things that direction. Villa is back to return at the 8-yard line, but still walking backwards over his heels. Also back to return is Seth Carlson. Garrett's kick is away. A high end-over-end kick. Hits at the 2-yard line and bounces into the end zone. Not by a lot, though.
He didn't want that.
No,
It bounces at the 5, I think.
And it only went about a yard deep into the end zone. Villa was playing with fire a little bit right
I
there.
know.
If that didn't take quite as high of a bounce, then that would have been a chance for Broken Arrow to either pin him really deep or maybe even jump on the football. Enid will bring it back out to the 20-yard line to start this drive, 1st and 10. Blake Priest, the quarterback, 4 for 11 in the game for 47 yards and a score. Johnny Villa, 9 carries for 108 yards. Villa's caught 2 passes for 23 yards as well, so he's been the vast majority of the Enid offense. No one on the line of scrimmage, at least with hands down for Broken Arrow. They hand it off to Villa, straight up the middle. Now trying the right side. He's got about 6 yards out to the 26-yard line. Dodd there on the tackle along with Darian Moss. Moss has battled a little bit of everything this year, shoulder, ankle. He's been pretty dinged up, and we finally saw him get back on the field last week, and looking forward to continuing to see that here for Broken Arrow. 2 receivers to either side, a 1-back set in the shotgun this time. They'll motion a man into the backfield. Takes the snap, they drop the football, and the Tigers
Got it.
may have gotten on it. They did. That was Dakota Tomlinson. The ball fell right underneath his feet, and frankly, it's tough to get to the ground that quickly because he was in a dead sprint heading towards the quarterback. Ball hit the turf, and Tomlinson went right down for it, and the Tigers recover at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he just, it was a high handoff and bounced right off the kid's chest. He tried to grab it with his hands.
Broken Arrow leading 21-7 with 6:03 to play before halftime. Trips left on the wide side of the field. That's Barnett in the slot. They've got Matthews out there as well. Handoff right side, Marion Horn, big hole across the 20-yard line.
Nice cut.
Inside a man to the 15 and wrapped up there. That's very, very close to a first down.
I like how our line just keeps fighting. If you watch them, we're running the stretch play. We just keep fighting and fighting.
There's a flag down on the play back at the 27-yard line.
Are they getting this for holding?
It is a hole. That'll push the Tigers back. Now, if the roster we've been given is correct, we've not seen J.L. Talley much tonight. Instead, it has been Cade Matthews in for him, who's listed at 6'1". Here's the snap. Handoff to Horn. Trying the left side. Absolutely nothing to work with there. We might see if we can have Ryan Wyckoff confirm that for us at some point. Second down and 22 coming up now with about 5.5 minutes to play before halftime, and Broken Arrow leading 21-7. The Tigers return the opening kickoff of the game for a touchdown and really haven't looked back.
No, we're doing really well.
Spears, Jennings, and Barnett split out left. Stieber on the right side of the formation as the tight end. Here's the snap, wanting to throw left side. It is incomplete. Looking for Spears, Jennings, but just a little bit out of his reach. 88 is J.L. Talley. Okay, thank you very much, Ryan Wyckoff, for looking that up for us. Y'all couldn't hear him, but through the magic of broadcasting, we could hear him. And so that is J.L. Talley wearing 88 tonight, instead of Cade Matthews. Talley's come up with a couple of big plays already. Talley was our guest on Inside Tiger Football last week. Third down and 22 here for Broken Arrow. The Tigers' average yards to gain on third down is still monumentally high, well over 10 yards. Pass to the near side, it's incomplete.
Something's off here.
It's fourth down and forever now. And with the ball out near the 40-yard line, we may see a punt here from the Tigers, in which case you want to try to kick it fairly short. And that is the case as Dodd trots out in the field.
He has the ability to do that. This punter is good.
With the way Dodd kicks it, you really want to try to hit kind of a low line drive and have it bounce about on the 15-yard line where the returner can't get to it.
Correct.
And then hopefully it dies before the end zone. Dodd's kick is away. That's pretty much what he did. It hits at the 16, carrying towards the end zone, and they couldn't quite get there. That was pretty well executed. I think that was that was the long snapper again.
Man, he hustles.
Logan Diller. That's the second time he's laid out at the goal line to try to keep a ball in play. He's going to get one of those sometime.
Two good punts. Man.
So it'll be 1st and 10, Enid from the 20-yard line, its own 20-yard line. Let's go down to the sideline and Ryan Wyckoff.
Hey, I told you, my guy, Jalen Johnson, he got rolled on that last play. I think he was on the ground with an Enid player, so that may have I think he would have beat the ball there, but he was on the ground with an Enid defenseman.
Sometimes if you're trying to stop a gunner from getting up the field, the best thing to do is essentially tackle him and hope you get away with it. Here's the snap on 1st and 10 for Enid. They give it up to Villa, and he tries the right side to largely no avail. A gain of about 2. Brings up 2nd down and 8. That's Darian Moss on the tackle for the Tigers. Moss again wearing 77 tonight in honor of his dad, who passed away 3 years ago tonight.
That's neat. That's cool that he's doing that to honor him.
Even that he was able to come back and play this evening. Remember, he's only been back for a week. He played last week. Now back into it. Motion right to left on 2nd and 8 for Enid. Quick pass to the far side after the fake handoff.
Nice
and he
play.
lost did he lose the football? He was hit backwards. Nope, never lost control, but Andrews is brought down for a loss of about a yard. Back to the 21-yard line. It brings up 3rd down and 9.
God, what a great play. Was that Corey that did that?
It was either Williams or Franklin.
God, what a great play out on the perimeter.
3rd down coming up here for Enid. Plainsmen's average yards gain is 6. They flip it out to the near side. It's incomplete, too low for the intended target, Mayberry. And that makes Enid 0 for 5 on 3rd down attempts tonight. And the Plainsmen will have to punt it away again with 3:49 to play before halftime.
Good defense there.
Broken Arrow leading 21-7. looking for their 4th win of the conference season. And keep in mind, district season. Keep in mind that district games, district wins specifically, count towards the seeding of this district when we get into conference into playoff time. Punt rolls inside the 40-yard line and is down at the 38. Let's go back to Ryan Wyckoff on the sidelines. Ryan?
Yeah, something to look at is that long snapper when they were warming up. I don't know if you saw that on the last one, but that ball hit the ground. And so earlier I saw one go over the punter's head and then another one hit the ground. And so that might come into play later on tonight. But it was actually really great of that punter to be able to get that off that because that ball rolled on the ground about twice.
It did. 21-7. Broken Arrow leads, and they are now back with the football at the 38-yard line. 2 receivers left, tight end right. That's Sanchez Banks in the backfield. They hand it off instead to Keon Barnett, trying to cut it back. Looking over the left side, dives forward after running over a man out to the 44-yard line. A gain of about 7 on the play.
Tough run, wasn't it? He was physical.
He was more like a running back than a receiver.
I know. He was the one that was laying out the punishment.
And I thought briefly there was a point where he might bounce it back outside to the left, and if he did, he had a lot of room to work, but he's able to get 7. We'll call it 6. Bring up 2nd down and 4. Broken Arrow, if they could pick up a 4th win tonight, would give themselves a chance at the 3 seed in the district. UConn and Westmore both have 3 wins also. Handoff, right side. A gain of 3 or 4, very close to a first down for Sanchez Banks. And we still haven't seen a signal. I think he's got it. Yep. I'll give him the first down. 2:50 to play here before halftime. Pistol set. Banks behind Raines, who takes the snap, hands it off right side. Sanchez Banks hits the hole at the 50-yard line and is hit hard and knocked sideways at the 46. He was starting to kind of trip up and go down, and he got leveled. Big number 78, Sean Graves, 6'4", 355. That's a dude with some size up front for Enid.
Backside player. He cut it back, just surfed it and cut it back to him.
2nd down and 5. Banks in the shotgun left of Raines, the quarterback. 2 receivers left on the wide side of the field. Stever, the tight end, lined up left as well. They want to throw it near side. It's caught at the 36-yard line. Spears Jennings makes one-man miss, splits defenders, flings forward, gets out of the tackle, and he's in the open field. Into the Enid Knight. Touchdown, Tigers. Robert Spears Jennings was everything but tackled, broke through, and took off into the cool fall air here in Enid, Oklahoma. Broken Arrow goes on top 27-7 with 2:03 to play before halftime.
What a smooth play. I tell you what, they just have the yards after catch are incredible with him.
And he made a couple of nice little nifty moves before anyone ever even made contact with him, much less eventually breaking out of that tackle.
Just really impressive run.
Snap back, ball down, kick up. And it's good, 28-7. Broken Arrow leads as we get a look at the replay. Quick pass to avoid the pressure. Spears Jennings tiptoes the sideline, slips through one. He is fully wrapped up here. The defender tried to fling him forward, and Spears Jennings just was able to stay on his feet. And at that point, the defender basically propelled him towards the end zone.
And he's so good at running that deep out there. You know, he does a great job on that. And I tell you what impresses me more than anything with him is he's got such tremendous soft hands.
That was Romello Washington that ended up kind of flinging him forward. Let's go down to the sidelines and Ryan Wyckoff.
Hey, just a quick update. That'll be $80, Adam. 1 ball over the net tonight if you want to keep track up there. Saw the tree move, and some Enid neighbor just got himself a Broken Arrow branded football.
There you go. Congratulations, landowner in Enid, Oklahoma. Random landowner that we don't know the name of.
I tell you, when I used to coach and play here, we would send in, the scrub balls.
Oh yeah, to kick.
Yeah.
Hold on, Ryan, I want to bring you back in here. Are you telling me that football costs $80?
That's what my sources are telling me.
Whoo!
Spav may be able to confirm that if he knows more about the equipment, but I was told beforehand that they were worth $80.
Boy, I'm glad that I'm not funding the ball guys here in this game.
No, they are expensive.
28-7. The kick is away, high end over end, and it hits about a yard deep in the end zone. That one actually bounced back out towards the field. So had it landed in the field of play, that would have been a live ball, but it hit about a yard deep. And so Enid will have it with 2:05 to go. Now the Tigers, Spav, still have all 3 timeouts. So if you can get a neutral or negative play here on first down, I think we might see Coach Alexander take one of those timeouts and try to squeeze one more possession out of this half.
I agree, because it doesn't take much for us to score. I mean, the run game is just like one block away from scoring every time. Not
to mention the punt team is not necessarily strong for Enid, so you might be able to get in close. Norman is leading Edmond Santa Fe 21-14 in the second quarter. Here's a handoff to, who was that carried it straight up the middle? That was Villa who carried it. Moss on the tackle, and it's about a 7-yard gain. Brings up second down and 3. 1:50 to go before halftime. Enid is not in a hurry, so the Plainsmen, who get the ball at half, taking their time. Villa to the left of Priest, the quarterback in the shotgun, motion from right to left, and now Mayberry will go back the other direction. Here's the snap, handoff to Villa, looking over the right side, and he's brought down by Darian Moss for no gain. Brings up third down and 3. And they've got that C blocking concept on quite a bit, Spav, where they're bringing. In that case, they brought both the left guard and left tackle around to the right side to be the lead blockers.
Yeah, and we played it well defensively because, when you're pulling 2 linemen across the center, you're creating 2 gaps, and you have to fit that well. But what was impressive is the D lineman just fought off his block and made the play.
Under a minute to play before halftime. Motion from right to left, so trips on the left side of the formation. They hand it off, wrapped up and brought down for no gain was the ball carrier Luke Rao. And we've got a timeout from the Broken Arrow sideline with 41 seconds to go before halftime. That was Moss in the backfield again. He made every tackle on that series for the Tigers.
He did. He was impressive.
So now the ball's on the 25. It's 4th and 5. Enid's going to be forced to punt it away with just 41 seconds to go before halftime. And we'll go down to the sidelines and Ryan Wyckoff. Ryan?
$80 has been recovered, Adam. I'd like to just make sure.
They got the ball back?
We found one. I don't know where it was recovered from or what fences or plants they had to go around, but one of the ball that just got kicked over was recovered. So we're back down to $0 spent.
See, I thought you were going to say you managed to replace it. I was going to warn you that the federal government frowns upon printing money.
Mm-hmm. Well, it used to be like Sandlot. It used to be like you didn't know what was over the fence.
The beast. You had to go track it down from a rogue dog.
Mm-hmm.
Back on his own 43-yard line is Marion Horn. Villa, the punter, stands at the 12-yard line. It's a good snap back to him. The kick is away. That is a good kick. Horn backed for it at a 35-yard line. Makes the catch, looking for room, coming over the right side across the 40-yard line. Sidesteps a man at the 50, breaking another tackle and hopping forward. Finally ankle tackled just outside the 45-yard line. That is a return of 10, about 20 yards for Marion Horn there.
That was good.
28 seconds left before halftime, and the Tigers will have a chance to get a quick score here. That was a very good punt from Villa, easily his best of the day.
Yeah, it was excellent.
JL Talley splits out left side, wearing number 88 tonight. Spears Jennings over the right side, Barnett in the slot right, Stieber the tight end left. Shotgun formation for Raines with Banks to his right in the backfield. First down and 10. Here's the snap. Raines looking right. Wants to throw deep. He's hit. The ball pops free. It's loose and picked up by Enid. Shoved out of bounds at the 45-yard line. So the Plainsmen forced the turnover. And that was very close to being an incomplete pass. I thought his arm was moving forward, but
that was close. But thing is we didn't max protect. We're having trouble in our protection when we're not maxing it out because they're sending more guys than we have to block. And he took a serious hit there.
28-7, Broken Arrow leads, 18 seconds to play before halftime, and now a big opportunity here for Enid to pick up a late score. They've only got one timeout left, but if you're Enid, you got to find any way you can to put the points on the board, getting the ball back at halftime as well to try to cut into this deficit.
Well, they had trips in the boundary.
Motion of man, they're throwing it over the middle. It's a high throw, and it is incomplete. Two Tiger defenders ran together. Both were going for the football, and neither one came up with it. That could have been intercepted by either Sterling Ramsey or Jalen Johnson. Check that, it was Javion Franklin and Jalen Johnson that ran together. Boy, that was just lobbed up in the air. Either one of those guys would have had a chance at a big return, too.
Yes.
Both broke on the ball very well. They just met together. It was too well covered, Spav.
I know.
Boy, and that Priest probably won't float one up like that again. That was not a great decision. Here's the snap. 12 seconds to go before halftime. Launches this one up the right side, looking for the deep route. It's intercepted this time up the far sideline. A chance to turn it back across the 50 and shoved out of bounds with just 3 seconds to go. That was Williams on the interception. He continues to make big plays on the defensive side of the football.
God, that was so risky. I mean, you're throwing across the entire field. And what makes it risky is the fact that you intercept it. You don't have your lineman or anybody over there to help protect it if it's intercepted.
And Williams is so quick. If you lob the ball up like that, he had to cover like 30 yards and still got there. That's Corey Williams' 6th interception of the year as Raines takes a knee, and that will end the first half of play. 28-7, Broken Arrow leads it at the half over Enid. What do you think from the first half there, Spav?
Well, I tell you what, I mean, we had a lot of good things. We did a lot of really nice things, I felt like, as far as our defense with third down conversions, running the football, very successful, especially with the stretch and the off tackle into the boundary. I really like it.
Ryan Wyckoff down on the sidelines. We'll get his opinion of that first half of play as well, as he had a little bit of a different vantage point as us. I assume his ears are trying to calm down a little bit from being in front of the band for most of that half. But what was your perspective of that first half down on the sidelines, Ryan?
Well, I'd say just from a perspective of being here this year and last year, the Enid team is a much improved team, and that's something I even talked to several Enid fans about, was just that this team has the same amount of talent as it did last year, but just, had really been coached up. And so my perspective was more just, Enid really improved on the offensive side of things. And like you guys said, obviously things that were maybe some things we hadn't seen were obviously things that are kind of confusing the players a little bit too. So, if it hadn't been for a miscatch and an overthrow, this game would be a lot tighter. So Enid showing some good things, but Broken Arrow, down here, just athleticism is really helping them just overpower this Enid team.
Oh, there's no doubt with the athleticism. It's unbelievable what we're doing, making some really sweet moves and just really making things happen for ourselves.
Spav, Ryan does bring up a good point, though. There was on fourth down, a pass dropped in the end zone for Enid. That would have made it a 14-point game. You take away the kick return for a touchdown. In theory, it could be a 7-point game, but the Tigers able to overcome some of those things in the first half and still be out to a big lead here at the half.
But the whole point is what you've been saying is this is a well-improved Enid team, and they're really being, they're being respected what they do. But statistically, we're just too overpowering for them right now. But they are really doing a good job, Enid is.
At the half, Broken Arrow leads at 28-7. We'll take a break. This is Broken Arrow Tiger football here on ArrowVision.
Just a reminder, there will come a time when they can no longer share a bedroom. That's why we have a complete array of home loans, so that dream of more space can come true. Right on time. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Recently, you've had to put your life on hold, and we're with you in this. At Ascension St. John, we're now open for appointments, and we are fully prepared for your safety and our care. As we open our doors again, Our doctors, nurses, and care teams will continue to wear personal protective equipment. We've taken even more steps to clean and stringently disinfect all areas. We will maintain distancing in our waiting rooms and will continue to limit visitors. And we will still screen all staff to protect their health and yours. Our emergency rooms are here 24/7. Please do not delay care. We're still delivering babies and performing surgeries. And we're open for your appointments, from specialists and surgical care to routine care and health screenings. Ask us about virtual visits. Ascension St. John continues to care for you, as we have been for almost a century. Thank you for trusting us.
Welcome back to Broken Arrow Tiger Football. This is Ken Ellett, and every week we have the opportunity to get to interview one of our head coaches. And this week we have our head boys soccer coach, Shane Schwab. Welcome to the show, Coach Schwab.
Thank you, Mr. Ellett. I'm glad to be here.
Can't start this out with talking a little bit about the weirdness of the year, the COVID-19, what's going on. How has it been for you? How has it been for soccer?
Well, obviously our season got canceled right in the middle of first couple of games. We were off to a really, really good start. We were ranked number 1 in Oklahoma, and then COVID shut it all down. So we're really disappointed with the seniors not getting to really finish what could have possibly been a state championship or a very successful season. So we've had to just kind of get everybody back up and running, and we've got a great group of seniors this year, good leaders, and I think they really appreciate being back on the field more than they ever have, and they want to do something special not only for their class but for the kids that last year that lost their season.
How hard that must have been for those kids. Kind of curious, a question. So they don't get to finish their season last year. Things didn't work out the way we all hoped it would. And how did that affect them as far as kids have an opportunity to go into college?
Well, we were lucky that certain group of seniors, a lot of them had already made their decisions by the time the season started. I think probably of our 15 or 16 seniors, I think 10 or 11, maybe 12 are playing at the next level, at least somewhere in college. So that's great to hear. A very competitive bunch of kids, so I'm not surprised. But luckily, I think a few of them may have gone to maybe some better schools, possibly if we had finished our season and got a little more exposure to some schools, because we'd already had coaches that were coming out at some different schools, but obviously that didn't happen. So, but luckily a lot of those kids did get to go at least try to play at the next level.
Well, and anybody who knows anything about Broken Arrow soccer knows it's got a reputation of being a quality program, some great players. 2017, I think it was 2017 state champions.
Yeah.
Hard to believe talking back 2017 already. What's it look like for this year? Group of kids you've got coming back.
We got like I said earlier, the seniors, they're completely different from the seniors we had last year. The seniors last year were very wiry and goofy, but very competitive and good soccer players. This year's seniors are, I call them just choir boys in a sense. They are such good kids. A lot of them are in leadership with Jungle Squad, or in leadership positions in school. I mean, they go above and beyond what we ask them to do. We don't have to tell them to do things twice. They're extremely motivated, don't have any issues with eligibility or off-the-field trouble. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better group of kids in terms of off the field. As players, I think, again, we don't have anyone that just a couple players that really, really stand out like we did last year. But that's okay. I think from a team perspective, we're going to be completely competitive. And like I said, they're very motivated to not only win something this year, but also win for those seniors last year.
You kind of answered this question already, talking about the quality of young people you have on your team. But to have success, the culture of the team is so important. Having the leadership. How's the leadership? Look, you can be good kids, you can work hard, but you have to have some of those kids on your team that are willing to speak up.
Yes.
You have that.
Definitely we do. And we've just over the last couple of weeks have kind of designated each of the 5 or 6 leaders, senior leaders, and put them in certain leadership positions. And there's 2 or 3 that we have no doubt that they lead because they've always been leaders and not afraid to speak up. But we're seeing the other 3 or 4 that are like, okay, I'm expected to be a leader now, and it's really great to see that those kids are starting to step up a little bit and take accountability for their leadership skills, and making sure that the program continues, that, like you said, to continue to build the culture of winning and success. And that's from 2017, that class that we lost last year, they were our first freshman group with us. So that was why it was really special for us to coach them. We wanted to do something special with that group. But they'd been with us for 4 years since we started the program, when I got hired by you, obviously. And so now we've had 4. This is our 5th year to see these kids really understand what we're trying to build here, and not only a great culture, but success on the field and off the field, and a legacy that like wrestling is here at Broken Arrow, and some other programs that have always been really good and consistently good. That's what we're trying to build.
That's great. We have a tremendous amount of competition just around the corner. You look at the Frontier Valley Conference, which I know we play in districts, but you look at the Unions, the Jinx, the Owasas, just right across the board. How does it look around the area for soccer?
Well, we're in a district with Union this year and last year, but we didn't get to play them because of COVID. But Jinx, it's going to be interesting, honestly, Ken. I don't really know what else is out there. I know we're going to be, in the top 2 or 3. Owasso lost 22 seniors last year, so they're going to be down. Union and Jinx both lost some top players. I think they're going to be down a little bit. They're still always going to be good, but I think they don't have any superstars, and neither does Jinx. So I just don't know what's on the west side. But I think from this side, I think we're going to be right there with everyone else. We've got enough. The thing I'm really excited about is not only our senior class, but our junior and our sophomore class. Our sophomore class is the best that I've ever seen.
Wow.
So much talent and so deep players. So I could see 4 or 5 of them possibly playing varsity minutes this year. And so the future looks really, really good. So if those young kids can come in and step up and potentially, contribute this year, the next couple of years look fantastic for us. So I'm really excited about the program.
That's great. That's great. Obviously, you can't have a great program without having some great coaches, and you've got some good assistants. Let's talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, so Gustavo Espinoza is a coach that we brought in from I think he was coaching up in Iowa with an NAIA men's team, so he's got collegiate experience. He did some internship with FC Tulsa over the last summer. We just hired him last year, so again, COVID, we only got to see him coach a few games, but he's got a tremendous amount of potential. Great guy, really wants to learn the game, and has a good soccer mind, and we're excited about hopefully getting to see him coach and develop his team, the JV Black team. Then we have Coach Romano, who's been with me since the beginning, 5th year, and he just does an excellent job with the gold team and the freshmen, and kind of getting them into the program and teaching them discipline and leadership. He's got a military background, so he utilizes that really well. And fitness, he just does it all, for the program. I could not be successful without him and the things that he does. And then right now we're actually looking for a 4th coach. I'm interviewing 2 guys that are actually former Broken Arrow players in the last 5 years. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have a decision and an announcement on that.
Awesome.
So we're excited to have potentially another young coach that is looking to learn, and someone that we can groom to be, move up to the ranks.
Very good. Well, Coach, we wish you the very best of luck this season. We appreciate the great job that you do and the hard work that you put into it, And go Tigers.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on today.
For families who like to build their wealth while staying liquid, we have flexible rate CDs to keep your funds working hard, even when you're not. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Finding your happy place is something special, and it's different for everyone. You probably already know where to find yours, and TTCU Federal Credit Union can help you get there. Right now, you can earn up to a $200 bonus when you open a new checking account with direct deposit. So wherever your happy place finds you, TTCU will meet you there. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Just a reminder, there will come a time when they can no longer share a bedroom. That's why we have a complete array of home loans, so that dream of more space can come true. Right on time. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Recently, you've had to put your life on hold, and we're with you in this. At Ascension St. John, we're now open for appointments, and we are fully prepared for your safety and our care. As we open our doors again, our doctors, nurses, and care teams will continue to wear personal protective equipment. We've taken even more steps to clean and stringently disinfect all areas. We will maintain distancing in our waiting rooms, and will continue to limit visitors. And we will still screen all staff to protect their health and yours. Our emergency rooms are here 24/7. Please do not delay care. We're still delivering babies and performing surgeries. And we're open for your appointments, from specialists and surgical care to routine care and health screenings. Ask us about virtual visits. Ascension St. John continues to care for you, as we have been for almost a century. Thank you for trusting us.
For families who like to build their wealth while staying liquid, we have flexible rate CDs to keep your funds working hard, even when you're not. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Finding your happy place is something special, and it's different for everyone. You probably already know where to find yours, and TTCU Federal Credit Union can help you get there. Right now, you can earn up to a $200 bonus when you open a new checking account with direct deposit. So wherever your happy place finds you, TTCU will meet you there. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Just a reminder, there will come a time when they can no longer share a bedroom. That's why we have a complete array of home loans, so that dream of more space can come true. Right on time. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Recently, you've had to put your life on hold, and we're with you in this. At Ascension St. John, we're now open for appointments, and we are fully prepared for your safety and our care. As we open our doors again, our doctors, nurses, and care teams will continue to wear personal protective equipment. We've taken even more steps to clean and stringently disinfect all areas. We will maintain distancing in our waiting rooms, and will continue to limit visitors. And we will still screen all staff to protect their health and yours. Our emergency rooms are here 24/7. Please do not delay care. We're still delivering babies and performing surgeries. And we're open for your appointments, From specialists and surgical care to routine care and health screenings, ask us about virtual visits. Ascension St. John continues to care for you, as we have been for almost a century. Thank you for trusting us.
For families who like to build their wealth while staying liquid, we have flexible rate CDs to keep your funds working hard, even when you're not. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Finding your happy place is something special, and it's different for everyone. You probably already know where to find yours, and TTCU Federal Credit Union can help you get there. Right now, you can earn up to a $200 bonus when you open a new checking account with direct deposit. So wherever your happy place finds you, TTCU will meet you there. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Just a reminder, there will come a time when they can no longer share a bedroom. That's why we have a complete array of home loans, so that dream of more space can come true. Right on time. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Recently, you've had to put your life on hold, and we're with you in this. At Ascension St. John, we're now open for appointments, and we are fully prepared for your safety and our care. As we open our doors again, our doctors, nurses, and care teams will continue to wear personal protective equipment. We've taken even more steps to clean and stringently disinfect all areas. We will maintain distancing in our waiting rooms, and will continue to limit visitors. And we will still screen all staff to protect their health and yours. Our emergency rooms are here 24/7. Please do not delay care. We're still delivering babies and performing surgeries. And we're open for your appointments, from specialists and surgical care to routine care and health screenings. Ask us about virtual visits. Ascension St. John continues to care for you, as we have been for almost a century. Thank you for trusting us.
Back in Enid, Oklahoma, Adam Hildebrandt, Steve Spavital with you. Ryan Wyckoff on the sidelines for us as Broken Arrow leads at the half, 28-7 over Enid. And Spav, the Tigers, got out to a very quick start. They returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. And then after that, it was kind of a slow and steady improvement for the Tigers from there. They were just simply better than Enid over the course of that first half.
No doubt at all. You know, there's some things we learned about this first half because Enid has been a much improved football team, and was, our pass protection needs to get a little bit better of what we need to do. We got to get time because I think we've had about 16 yards in sacks, and so that's something that we need to do in those crucial penalties. But we're doing an excellent job on first down. But what's interesting is they're doing a good job on first down. They average 6.8 yards per gain on first down. But then you think about it, their third down conversions, they're over. They are 0 and 6?
They're 0 for 6, and there are some really strange numbers in their Spav, because their average yard to gain, Enid's average yard to gain on third down is 5.8 yards. The Tigers' average yard to gain on third down is 14 yards.
Yes.
But the Tigers are 4 for 7. They're better than 50%. Those numbers do not add up. But it does go back to something that you and Ryan both hit on going into halftime, which was Broken Arrow clearly has, across the board, an athleticism advantage. There are some big-time athletes for Enid. They no doubt have some playmakers, but if you line up 11 against 11, Broken Arrow is simply the more athletic team that can lead to bigger, more explosive plays, even on third down and long.
No doubt. I mean, when it's third and long for us, that's like a typical play because we're so overpowering as well. And with our athleticism, it just makes it even better.
One more quick number on those third downs. The Tigers' average yards gained on third down, 8.4. Enid, negative a half yard.
Right.
So even when Enid has gotten itself in good positions on third down, the Tiger defense has been very, very good, keeping them from moving the ball forward.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm saying, because they're so efficient on first down. And in order to convert third downs, you have to be efficient on first down. And they're efficient on first down, but our defense is doing such a wonderful job on third downs.
So the Tigers lead at 28-7 here at the half. Edmond Santa Fe is trailing, as is UConn at the half in their respective games today. So the Tigers with a chance to really put their stamp on the rest of this season and perhaps wrap up the third place spot in the district going into the playoffs next week.
But, there's a lot of games where, I mean, you think about it. Owasso's winning, number one. They're winning 21-0 at half. And then number 2, Jinx is beating Westmore 49-21. Then, then when you look at Edmond Santa Fe, they're losing to Norman 28-14. And where's number 4? Well, UConn is getting beat as well. They're number 6 this day, 22-14.
Here in Enid, the second half is underway, and the kickoff caught by Villa at the 1 yard line. Going to try to return it, and he's tackled at the shoulder pads at the 16-yard line. Coming flying across to make that tackle there for the Broken Arrow Tigers was Seth McGuire, and kind of clotheslined Villa, the returner.
Yeah, they didn't even block him. He was coming full speed. This way they get the ball on the 15-yard line.
There's a certain amount of crazy that you have to be to do both kick returns and kick return coverage. And
well, especially kickoff especially. You walk the halls and get all of those. That should be in an insane asylum.
1st and 10, they hand it off on the jet sweep action over the left side, and a decent gain on first down there. That's Mayberry that carried the football. Give him about 4 yards out to the 19-yard line. Brings up second down and long 6 yards. Just a few seconds into the second half here. We got a player down on the field, it looks like. Let's welcome Ryan Wyckoff into the second half part of the broadcast. Ryan, what are you looking at for these Tigers in the second half of play?
Looking probably just for a cleaner game. We saw a little bit of penalties and things like that, and so really just looking to clean up. Really kind of the penalty game, but then as well as now that we've kind of seen what that offense is doing, and like Spav always says, is smoke and mirrors. Now that they kind of know what they're coming into, I look for this team to really be well coached up this second half and just play a cleaner game, and where we saw Enid be open on some of those passing plays and have some opportunities. I'd look to see a lot more tighter coverage from a really talented secondary from Broken Arrow.
I don't really look at us doing things to where that we want to show our opponents. I think what you need to do in a game like this now is, I think we've shown what we have in. I think everybody understands that at this late in the year. But what we need to do is just really get ourselves fundamentally sound. We need to play fundamental football.
That was Moss, who was down on the far side of the field and is now up and walking across to the near side. But again, a string of injuries for him over the course of this season. You really don't like to see him trying to walk another one off, but we'll see if he can return to action at some point. If not in this game, then certainly next week. Again, Moss wearing 77 in honor of his late father this evening, who wore that number when he played for the Tigers. It'll be 2nd down and 7 from the 19-yard line for Enid, kind of a short 7. The quarterback, Priest, in the shotgun. He's got Villa to his right. 3 receivers bunched outside the hash on the right side with the ball on the left hash, and Enid moving left to right here in the second half. And up to Villa, trying the right side, couldn't bounce it around. There were a couple of defenders there. And eventually making the stop was Lance Young. Dakota Tomlinson was there to force him back up towards the help, and it's 3rd down and long.
Yeah, we had to force that safety in there, really, or that outside backer. We had to force him in there.
They gave him a yard out to the 20, so it's 3rd down and 6. 1 minute gone by in the second half. Shotgun formation. Receiver motions from left to right. Here's the snap. They hand it off up the middle to Villa. Through a hole across the 25-yard line. He's got the first down out near the 29. A gain of 9 on the play moves the chains for the Plainsmen. It seemed like saw something there right before that play started, Spav?
Well, they motioned over and no one went with him to cover him. The linebacker, Batside, went back into the box, into the formation. But then as the receiver went across the formation, no one went with him. So he was uncovered.
Fortunately, Enid ran the football.
Yes.
Trips left on the short side of the field here. They hand it off to Villa straight up the middle again. He is hit and brought down. Dodd, Tomlinson, Floyd Wright, all in there on the tackle. Give him the 34-yard line. It brings up 2nd down and about 5. Enid just kind of chipping away and moving the football right now.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job cutting back against the grain and really picking up some good yardage.
Same formation. Looks like the same play essentially, but that one's bottled up better. Just about a yard out to the 35-yard line that time for Villa.
Got a little penetration there, and it wasn't, and he was not able to get that cut back.
Seth Dodd leading the way on the tackle for the Tigers. Brings up 3rd down and 4. And the Tiger defense will have another chance. That last third conversion on 3rd down for Enid was its first of the game.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I didn't think about that.
So Enid now trying to make it 2 for 2 in the second half after going 0 for 6 on 3rd down in the first half. Motion again from the receiver, Mayberry. They'll roll into the right. There's that wheel route, but the Tigers have it covered up, and the ball is dropped back at the 21-yard line. It's scooped up by the Tigers, and he's going to score! Touchdown, Broken Arrow!
He's excited. Look at him.
That was Tomlinson who snuck in there to pick it up. That's his 2nd fumble recovery of the game. He got on one earlier as well, but that time it's the scoop and score for Tomlinson. And Spav, what happened there, as we get a look at the replay, they dropped the football, it got knocked free, and Tomlinson picked it up.
Exactly.
But Spav, they tried that same thing.
Yeah,
they faked the handoff.
Route.
Looking for the wheel route. Was it 48 that picked it up? 48 would be Hinesley that picked it up. But it was that same thing. They were looking for that wheel route again, but the secondary snipped it out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Plus, we had a lot of pressure on him, too. Had a lot of penetration and had him had to pull up real quick.
Snap back, ball down, kick on the way, and it is good. Ryan Weinkoff down on the sideline. Ryan, you were just talking to us about you're looking for the defense, or really the team as a whole, to kind of not fall for some of those smoke and mirrors. There's Exhibit 1A for you right there.
I know, right? I don't actually. I think that's the. I think the offensive line maybe stand next to me or something. I've never seen so many big men run past me to go greet Tomlinson after he had picked up that fumble. But yeah, man, just staying true. And I'll tell you what, they have the screens over here on the sidelines just like they do every single home game and away game, and they're coaching them up too. So it's not like they're taking this game lightly.
35-7, the new score, and we have confirmed that was Garrett Hinesley. We got another look at it there. It was Hinesley that picked it up and took it back in for the score, homecoming king, and now a scoop and score on his checklist for the year as well.
I'm getting confused with all these number changes and stuff. I'm sorry.
Well, 48 and 42 are not only are they not they look somewhat similar from up here. They play similar spots on the defensive line, so those two are pretty easy to get swapped for each other.
Lineman scoring though.
Mason Garrett has the ball teed up. And again, a big play early in a half leads to 7 points for the Broken Arrow Tigers. It was a kick return to start the game, and now on the first possession of the second half, the Tigers get a scoop and score. That kickoff lands about 6 yards deep in the end zone. Villa won't have a chance to return that one.
And they had a decent drive going, too.
Yeah.
But, this is where the trickery gets you sometimes. You live and die with it.
And Priest was when he initially turned around, he might have had a chance to recreate some space for himself and at least throw the ball away. But it was when he turned around, it looked like he maybe hit that ball on his hip, and that's what jarred it free.
I think it was. You're right.
Darian Moss back into the game at linebacker. Good to see him back after getting shaken up on the last possession. 2 receivers left, 1 right for Enid here. Split out on the right side is Andrews by himself. Now motion from left to right. They hand it out to Villa, trying the left side of the formation. He's tripped up for a fairly minimal gain, just about 2 yards out to the 22-yard line. It brings up 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, it was something like that. See, like I said, they just need to run the football. They do a good job running the football. They need to run it, spot your little play action passes in there, and get first downs.
Villa has now toted the ball 19 times for 136 yards. Make it 20 times for 138 after that last carry. Trying to throw it deep over the left side into extra coverage, but it is caught at the 40-yard line and knocked out of bounds. That was a nice play over the far side. Mathis is listed at 6'4", 170. He had the height advantage, and there was double coverage there. They just lobbed that one up and said, go make a play, and he did.
God, what a catch.
Knocked out right at the 40-yard line. 1st down and 10. Enid now from the Broken Arrow 40. 8:26 to go, 3rd quarter. Tigers leading 35-7. The tough thing there for, I think it was Williams, was he was about a step further upfield than Mathis, and that allowed Mathis to make the adjustment to the ball. Here's a snap, handoff to Villa. Nice. He's hit hard but breaks the tackle, working over the right side of the 35. Tried to bounce it outside, but wrapped up by Jadaean Floyd Wright after a gain of 8 down to the 32-yard line. 2nd and 2 coming up.
Great penetration.
Yeah, he had him dead to rights, about 3 yards deep there.
Right, we hit him deep in the backfield. Strong runner.
Villa is averaging 7 yards a carry, approaching the 150-yard mark. Marion Horn needed 114 yards to get into the top 10 in a single season all-time for Broken Arrow. He's at 61 right now. Snap, handoff straight up the middle, bouncing off of a couple of guys, a gain of about 4 yards, and a 1st down inside the Tiger 30-yard line. On the carry that time was Luke Rowell. Oh, and he blew a tire. Lost a shoe there. Rowell will go out of the game, and Villa will come back in. You know, the issue, Spav, is Villa's shoes are brighter than Rowell's, and so they stay on better.
I know, exactly. Well, the biggest thing you're having success with is because we're coming upfield so rapidly that we're creating running lanes.
There's Villa with another running lane across the 25-yard line. Around the 24-yard line, he's brought down. And that was, again, Moss on the stop.
So where you got to be careful is when you get a lineman that penetrates a gap, he gets up, a yard or 2 upfield, and you got one that's being cut at the line of scrimmage, which is what they're doing. You are creating a 3-yard space right in there just to run in.
And Villa has made it clear he doesn't need a lot of space to run in. Here's a jet sweep over the left side, but not a lot of room to work with. Gain of about 2 down to the 21-yard line. It was Mayberry on the carry that time. Although, technically speaking, I guess that was a pass. He shoveled it forward to him.
Yeah, that's right. Well, see, in that play right there, when we don't have anybody on the line of scrimmage, we're about 5 yards off the line, and then we're coming forward. It's really effective when you can flow with it, but in that case, the smoke and mirrors makes it more difficult.
3rd down and 3 here for the Enid Plainsmen. They fake the handoff, rolling right. Pass is caught at the 17-yard line, inside a man, inside the 10-yard line, and knocked down between a couple of defenders, down around the 7. On the catch that time was Rao, the backup running back. He was in at a fullback position there. There's just an easy little dump-off pass to him.
Well, what I like about the way they run the boot is the quarterback throws it quick. He throws it on that 3rd step, which is what I think.
We've talked about that a couple times this year. Pistol set, motion right to left, and they hand it off straight up the middle. Now Villa trying to break it left side. He stops and reverses course, but is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. give him a yard or maybe 2 down to the 5-yard line, brings up 2nd down and goal.
This is where we get stronger now. We get stronger right down here.
So far, Enid has been in the red zone twice. They've scored on one of those 2 occasions. Turned it over on downs the other time. 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. One receiver split right, one left. A tight end really has an H-back on the right side of the formation, and the tight end left as well. They lob it to the corner, far side, and it is incomplete. Oh, my goodness. That looked like pretty good coverage from up here, but Jalen Johnson draws the flag. It's pass interference. I guess in theory that could go the other way. There looked like there was jockeying from both sides there. Johnson, though, keep in mind, is trying to battle a significant height disadvantage there against Mathis, who's listed at 6'4". Johnson, meanwhile, is just 5'7".
This referee, his mechanics, I can't follow him very well.
Pass interference called against Johnson. Now move the ball to the 2-yard line. He's holding up 2 like it should be 2nd down. I think that's an automatic 1st down, isn't it? Yeah, 1st and goal from the 2. Should be. Here's the snap. Pitch left side. Villa hit at the 2-yard line and brought down just shy of the goal line. They give him about a yard gain on the play. Perhaps it was not an automatic 1st down because they've got 3rd and 1 showing here. Our stat system has it as an automatic 1st down. The Chains have it as 3rd down as well. Ryan Wyckoff, can you shed some light on this situation?
Well, I'm not really sure about that. I was going to say that last play, it looked like a Josh Fields to Rashawn Woods play from the old Oklahoma State playbook back there. Didn't even look at the other receivers.
Are you saying the receiver may have some experience with that? Handoff Villa right side. He's stacked up and brought down for a loss of 2 yards.
Yeah, and the referee's got a 4th down signal.
Sure enough. So 4th down and goal here for Enid. The scoreboard has been switched back to 3rd down. I can't see the sideline. All the officials are holding up 4th down. 4th down and goal for Enid from the 3-yard line. The Tigers trying to come up with a big stop. Goal line formation's in. Under center, they fake the handoff. Rolling right, needs to run. Sprinting towards the sideline. It is incomplete.
Wow.
Over the near side. I think he might have been out of bounds anyway. That's the 2nd time that they've tried to find Andrews in the sideline of the end zone, and he couldn't quite haul it in, and the turnover on downs gives it back to the Tigers. 1st and 10 from their own 3-yard line.
Good defense there. I mean, it was just, we had pressure on him. They're running like a little play-action boot in there. We had pressure on him. He had to throw it quick. You know, he was smarter if he just ran the ball.
Let's go back down to Ryan Wyckoff on the sidelines. And Ryan, I know you'll go with me on this reference because you mentioned that pattern just like Rashawn Woods and Josh Fields used to run. I think of those 7 touchdowns Rashawn caught at SMU, I think that play was about 5 of them. Handoff over the right side. They give it to Sanchez Banks, and he's got a decent hole over the middle of the 10-yard line. Almost a 1st down. Gain of about 9. Ryan?
Adam, only play I remember is the Bedlam catch. All the others just blur in my mind.
Well, that one, there's reason that one stuck out, I'm sure, as well. 2nd down and 1 for Broken Arrow from the 11-yard line. It's hard to see, really, from this angle.
Mm-hmm. It's 12.
At the 12, and they need the 13 for a 1st down. But Sanchez Banks has already given the Tigers some breathing room. 2 receivers left. Here's the snap. Handoff straight at the middle. Banks another nice hole, but he's hit and wrapped up. Still, he gets about 3 yards out to the 15-yard line, and it will move the chains for the Tigers. And Spav, you have a chance right here to run a whole bunch of clock off on this drive because you started inside your own 5.
Well, yeah, and especially like you're saying, because you're backed up. You're in what we used to call the yellow zone. When you're backed up there, your playbook is cut in half, and what you need to do is just work to get a 1st down. Your whole goal is to get a 1st down and try to really establish the run and run the time off the clock.
Under 3 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Raines is going to throw this time, looking over the left side. It is caught by Spears Jennings. He was hit immediately. He was quite well covered, to be honest, but Spears Jennings makes the catch very near the 1st down marker, and they will move the chains.
I've been really impressed with
Well,
him.
will they? Yeah, there they finally started going.
He's got such great hands. Does a good job.
Able to use the body there to shield the defender as well, because he was hit immediately by John White, the senior corner. First down and 10, Broken Arrow from its own 25-yard line. Pistol set with Banks behind Rains. Motion into the backfield. They hand it off to Barnett, who makes a man miss in the backfield. He's got a little room across the 30-yard line, tumbling forward and brought down about 2 yards short of the first down marker. But we really saw Barnett do a lot of things there, Spav.
Oh, my gosh, that was a great run. You know, if you look about it, he should have been hit for a 5-yard loss. He gained balance, should have been tackled again, but then ended up yards after contact. Think about it, probably 10.
And he lowers his shoulder to add a couple extra on there at the end as well, and ran through the defender even though he got brought down. Second down and 1 coming up.
And, you know, he was hit 5 yards deep, so he really did a great job with yards after contact.
2 receivers right on the wide side of the field. They're bringing a blitz up the middle. Rains wants to throw it deep, launches it up the far side, and it is caught by Spears Jennings at the 30-yard line. He's hit immediately and brought down, but another big gain. Jake Rains to R.J. Spears Jennings, who went up over the top of the defender to make the catch.
God, that kid just has the softest hands. I love watching him play.
And just, when you have a receiver who can go up and catch a contested ball like that, that's a huge weapon. Going tempo here are the Tigers. Handoff left side to Banks. Sidesteps a man in the backfield, but he's brought down for a loss of about 2. It'll bring up second down and 12. Another look at the long play up the right side here. Rains puts a lot of air into that ball. The defender had kind of started to trail off of Spears Jennings a little bit.
And we had good protection, too. We had good protection, give him the time to throw the football.
Protection has been better as a whole for the Tigers here in the second half. Second down and 12 from the Enid 30-yard line. Tally split right. Spears Jennings went left, and Barnett in the slot left side. Quick pass to Tally. Right side makes a man miss. Outside of the 25 to the 20-yard line and stacked up there and brought down. Got a flag down. Very late, perhaps even after the play. And it's laying over there near where the tackle was made. As it stands, it would be third down and short, maybe just 2 or 3 yards.
These officials will spend 5 minutes talking about it.
I'm still trying to straighten some things out here. They're marking it off against Broken Arrow. Boy, I don't know. There wasn't another player out there to block, so I'm not entirely sure of what would have gone down here.
He's saying holding.
Block in the back, maybe? Well, we're not sure, and we never really got a good signal on it.
It looked like holding. I thought he gave a holding
Interesting.
signal.
Well, it's second down and long, and they throw it up the left side. It is intercepted at the 10-yard line, at the left side of the 20, now out to the 25, and chopped down at around the 27, 28-yard line. That was White on the interception, bringing it back up the near side.
Wow, his own guy just jacked him up. His own guy.
Looked like there was some...
What? His own guy just like jacks him up.
Oh, sure enough. Put a right shoulder into him. Just 22 seconds left in the third quarter. Broken Arrow leads 35-7, but the turnover gives it back to Enid. First and 10, Enid from its own 28-yard line. Ball on the right hash, moving left to right. That's the near hash from our perspective up here in the visitors' press box, which I suspect was the old home press box before they built the newer addition across the field from us. They motion Villa out of the formation. Quick pass over the left side. It's tipped and incomplete. It was right there floating in the air for Jadaean Floyd Wright, and he just couldn't quite get to it. But, Spad, that's the exact thing you're looking for there. You get the tip drill. That provides you a lot of opportunities.
But what are they doing? I mean, why would they be doing that? I mean,
you mean throwing the football there?
Well, throwing the football like that, I mean, that's not even a safe throw.
It never really was destined for the receiver there.
No, he threw it high and he threw it into about
Motion on 2nd and 10.
A muddle of people.
Trips left, quick pass over the left side. That one's deflected down by the intended target. They were looking for Slater that time. He stuck his left hand up there to get a piece of it, but couldn't haul it in. And again, a dangerous throw. If he doesn't knock that down, there's 2 defenders back there.
Yeah.
They were kind of behind the route.
Well, he's not throwing the ball very well right now, so.
Blake Priest is 7 for 19 in the game for 93 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Brings up 3rd down and 10. Marion Horn on the field as a defensive back here. Quick throw over the right side, and it is caught at the 46-yard line. Hit immediately by Sterling Ramsey. But still, a completed catch, and Enid moves the chains 1st and 10 from its own 46.
At least that was a safer type pass.
Looked like he just found a hole in the zone a little bit there, just enough. And the clock is on the move. That will likely be the last play of the 3rd quarter. And indeed, that is the case. So Enid will have it 1st and 10 from its own 45 when we return, but the Tigers leading 35-7 with just 12 minutes to play here in North Central Oklahoma. We'll take a break, flip the field around. You're tuned in to Broken Arrow Tiger Football, brought to you by ArrowVision.
For families who like to build their wealth while staying liquid, we have flexible rate CDs to keep your funds working hard, even when you're not. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Finding your happy place is something special, and it's different for everyone. You probably already know where to find yours, and TTCU Federal Credit Union can help you get there. Right now, you can earn up to a $200 bonus when you open a new checking account with direct deposit. So wherever your happy place finds you, TTCU will meet you there. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Broken Arrow leading Enid 35-7 as we start the 4th quarter. It's 1st and 10, Enid from its own 45-yard line. Dump off up the middle on the screen pattern across the left side of the 45 inside the Broken Arrow 40. Brought down at the 36. That was very close, Spav, to being in the eligible men downfield because it looked to me like he caught it across the line of scrimmage.
Yes, I know. That was pretty close. Let's look.
He caught it at the 46-yard line. That's across the line. There's probably, I assume, a little leeway there. Probably a yard to 2 yards. Norman was still beating Santa Fe 28-21 with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter at last check elsewhere in the district. 36-yard line of the Tigers is where Enid has the ball now. Broken Arrow leading 35-7. Tigers got out front by returning the opening kickoff and have led ever since. Long pass up the right side, one-on-one coverage, and it is caught. Touchdown, Plainsmen over the far side. That was well covered, but it was caught by Andrews, and we've got a flag down. The ball was spiked, so we've got unsportsmanlike conduct by somebody. The question is, was it because of the excessive celebration, or was it because of something a defender said or did? In any case, that was an excellent play. Moore also beating Mustang right now, and we've got Edmond Memorial still beating Yukon. Let's look at the replay. Boy, that's a beautiful throw. Dropped it right in the basket. Williams was step for step with him, but Andrews made the play.
It was great coverage, wasn't it?
Really good coverage.
It just had to be a perfect pass.
That was just an all-around good play by literally everyone involved. The defender made a pretty good play. Just the offense made a slightly better play because of a perfect throw and a nice catch. I have not seen a signal on whom this was called against.
Is this on the extra point, or is it?
I would imagine that it will be assessed on the kickoff. They're writing down, since it was a personal conduct foul, so to speak, an after the play excessive foul of some sort, they're writing down who committed it, I presume.
Yeah, he spiked the football.
Initial reports are unnamed sources from the sideline are saying that the word is that it's going to be on Enid, but we'll see if we get a ruling here. Speaking of the sideline, let's go down to the sideline while we have a brief second here. Ryan?
Just something to note, maybe be more impressed than anything. Corey Williams played that ball really excellently. But something to note, he was getting taped up earlier, and he's had some hand injuries that, and so he's playing right now only with one glove because the other hand can't fit a glove on it. But his left shin and calf are all wrapped up, and so he's definitely at a limp when he's not sprinting.
He sure played that well despite being apparently fairly banged up right now. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Enid, that'll be assessed on the kickoff. (35-13), Broken Arrow leads, and finally we'll have our point after attempt. It seems like it's been about 5 minutes since Enid actually scored. The kick is blocked, caught by the Tigers, but once you block a kick, the play is dead at that point. That literally was caught by Darian Moss in the air.
I know.
And he would have undoubtedly returned it to the house if it were a live ball, but it was not. So 35-13, the score remains. The Tigers still up big with 11:26 to go, and Enid will have to kick off from its own 25-yard line. If you're Enid at this point, Spav, you're already going to give up good field position once you kick it off. Do you go ahead and onside this and just see if you can't get it? And because you got to come back from a big deficit anyway.
Good point. I don't know,
It might be worth the risk since you're probably already going to give it to the Tigers at midfield anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's go back down to Ryan Wyckoff, who's also score watching for us. Ryan?
Well, I actually overheard this from an Enid fan, and there was a score update. Palhuska 95, Ketchum 7.
Holy smokes.
Now, this is just hearsay, guys. This is just small-town hearsay on the
I'll tell you, what class is that?
I have no clue, and I don't know why they were following it.
Palhuska, I believe, is 2A. But that's right up there with what Bixby did to Booker T on ESPN last night.
Yeah. Well,
Bixby put up 70 on the number 5 team in 6A2. 70 points. 35-13 the score here. Villa, who again is the running back, will be kicking off here. And just like we saw earlier, Spav, kind of a modified hands team on the field here for this return.
Yeah, just because of the way they balance it out.
Kick is away, a high kick. It's caught at the 41-yard line. Over the left side, the returner is spun around and brought down at the 45-yard line. Now that player is wearing jersey number 20. We understand that that's Cade Matthews, who apparently switched jerseys with JL Talley at some point. There they are running next to each other. You guys are killing us. They're literally walking off the field next to each other. So that's Talley wearing 88 and Matthews wearing 20. Both of which have been involved in this game at various points. Talley will stay on the field wearing number 88. Line up on the right side with R.J. Spears-Jennings. Ball on the left hash at the 46. A tight end on either side of the formation. Pistol set with Marion Horn in the backfield. Raines hands it off to Horn, trying the right side. Finds a seam across midfield and is hit hard. Wrapped up and spun forward to around the 47 of Enid. Give him a gain of 7 on the play. Brings up second down and 3 as we are now 1 minute into the fourth quarter of play. Spears-Jennings splits left. Talley splits right. Again, an ace set with a tight end on either side. Another handout to Horn. Big hole across the 40-yard line and tackled from the side at the 37-yard line. A gain of 10 on the carry for Marion Horn, who is, again, approaching the record books in terms of single season rushing. Banks enters the game for Horn as they'll switch out a little bit, but Horn has been hitting the holes with a vengeance tonight. He's now got 13 carries for 78 yards for an average of 6 yards a pop. Banks is averaging 8.5 yards a carry, and he's in the game. This, 2 receivers split left. They hand it off to Banks. Right side hits the hole again across the 35-yard line. Wrapped up around the leg and then hit up high. A gain of about 6 yards down to the 32. Brings up 2nd down and 4. Check that, they gave him 5 yards. 2nd down and 5.
He hits that hole so good.
Pawhuska 95-7 over Ketchum in the fourth quarter. 95-7.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, that's some like 8-man football type numbers there. Pawhuska having no mercy. Handoff right side. Sanchez Banks hit at the line of scrimmage, but powers his way forward close to a 1st down. That should have been a gain of maybe a yard. He got 5.
I know. It's just I'm so impressed with the yards after contact.
Tigers going tempo here on 3rd down and inches. They didn't give him the 1st down. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Tight end right is Stever. Here's the snap. Handoff right side. Banks trying to cut it back. He's hit, falls forward, and he is very close to a 1st down. It was a very minimal gain, but I think he's got it. Indeed, they won't even measure.
Good,
1st down
good.
Tigers.
Well, you never know. I tell you, the spots have been pretty erratic here this game.
Again, Pawhuska up big. Somebody needs to phone the Pioneer woman and get some post-game snacks ready for both squads after that game.
I know. They need to put the Pioneer woman in.
We'll reset the shot clock here. Or shot clock. Basketball's been on my mind.
There you go.
We're going to reset the play clock. Tigers have it 1st and 10 from the Enid 27-yard line. Hand out to Sanchez Banks up the middle. Cuts it left. And he's brought down for a gain of maybe 2 down to the 25-yard line. Have you ever been over there to the, I don't know what it's actually called. There's some fancy name for it, but the Pioneer Woman shop and all that stuff.
Well,
I've not been.
Shopping,
I should probably. But my wife has said that she would like to go over there, and well, I've been to I've called a game in Pawhuska before, but I haven't been in 10 or 12 years now over there.
It's a interesting place.
The Mercantile, I
a lot
think,
of
is what we
history
just had
in
heard earlier. Pawhuska's kind of a neat town in general. There's a snap on 2nd down. Handoff to Banks. Bounces off of one would-be tackler. Powering forward inside the 20-yard line, and still the pile topples forward down to about the 19.
Dude, that's 7 yards after contact. That's unbelievable. He gets hit, fights it off. I tell you what, the Banks is a tough runner now.
And from the defensive perspective, if you're giving up 7 yards after contact, you're just not going to get any stops.
Yeah.
Because even if you hit them 2 yards deep in the backfield, they're gaining 5 yards.
Right. And they're wearing down quite a bit now because, they have a lot of players. The linemen are going 2 ways.
Yep. 3rd down and 2 for the Tigers here. Handoff to Banks again. Big hole over the right side, inside the 15-yard line to the 10, dragging a tackler inside to the 5-yard line, where it'll be 1st and goal. Sanchez Banks and Marion Horn are putting the hurt on some defenders right now.
Yeah.
2 hands as he went through the hole over the football.
Just great blocking.
Tucked it, dragged him forward. It'll be 1st and goal from just outside the 5-yard line. Talley and Jennings split left. Jennings the further out of the 2, just outside the hash mark. Ball on the right hash. Stever in there is an H-back. Handoff to Banks, looking for the cutback lane. It wasn't there. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, slowed down and popped sideways. Give him about a yard down to the 4-yard line. We're down to 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in this game, and the Tigers leading 35-13. Right back to the line of scrimmage. Stever, the H-back right. Will Height, a tight end on the right side of the formation as well. Hand off to Banks. Straight up the middle. Big hole, and he scampers in untouched. Touchdown Tigers. 41-13 the score with a PAT coming. And as many hard runs as we just saw Sanchez Banks make, he wasn't even touched on that one.
It's right up the middle. It's right in the A-gaps.
Oh, I like what we saw there, Spav. The left guard essentially just took a step back and then just led through that A-gap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too much of a lineman novice to be able to properly explain that, but it was an interesting little tactic there.
Yeah, it's just an inside power.
Okay.
One back, and you just bring it in there. It's like an ISO and two back.
Where essentially essentially what happens is that left guard steps back, the center kicks his guy out, and then that guard becomes what would essentially be a fullback in the I formation power. Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct. And when that guard pulls up, you have to fit it differently because he's creating another gap, so we've got to fit inside and outside of that guard.
The defense does, you mean?
The defense does, and if you don't do that, then
then the running back walks in untouched from 5 yards out. then exactly what we just saw happen is what happens. 42-13 after the PAT was good. The Tigers now have put up 359 yards in this game, including 189 on the ground. Sanchez Banks has just gone over 100 yards on the night. He's got 2 touchdowns. Marion Horn with 78 yards of his own. Both of those guys are averaging at least 6 yards a carry. Jake Raines 8 for 16 for 170 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. So offensively, pretty efficient evening. The Tigers have pretty much done what they wanted to do with the exception of that first drive where they went backwards on penalties and then the turnover.
Right, and that last penalty was like their second penalty of the game. They haven't had very many penalties.
Garrett's kick is away. It's a high kick. That one's going to hold up. Villa takes it at the 7-yard line, wants to bring it up the right hash. Gets around a block at the 20, and then is hit sideways and brought down at the 25. Let's go down to the sideline and Ryan Wyckoff.
Yeah, I'm down here, and I think we're going to see some change up in the lineup, Spav. We're going to see some linemen shuffling out there, and so we'll start seeing that second and third team jump in.
That's good. We need to. We need to coach these kids hard because this is your team next year. And we need to get our kids out of there so they don't get injured.
Not only is it potentially your team next year, you're 1 or 2 coronavirus tests away from it being your team next week under the current circumstances.
True, that's a good point.
First and 10, Enid from the 25-yard line. They hand it off to Villa, cutting it back over the right side. Not a lot of room to work that time, about a yard out to the 26-yard line. Right now, we take a look at some of the guys that are in there. Jeremiah Brackett into the game right now defensively. Lance Young still in there at linebacker. Tomlinson and Hinesley both still in. So a lot of starters still out there right now. Moss is out there. Franklin's out there. There is Zach McGowan is the corner on the near side. Here's the snap. Pass over the middle. It is incomplete through the hands of the intended target. They were looking for Mayberry, and he just didn't bring it in. It brings up 3rd down and 9.
May see more switch-ups on the O-line than the D-line.
Tomlinson coming out.
Well, yeah, we need to get those kids out of there. I'm just one of those. I'm just afraid to get somebody hurt going to the playoffs. The playoffs are so important. This game's already won.
Into the game for the Tigers is Demarius Reynolds, sophomore defensive lineman. Here's the snap. Moss coming to bring a little extra pressure. Pass to the right side is incomplete. Floyd Wright again was in the area. Boy, he's been a total of about 4 feet away from intercepting about 3 passes tonight.
I know.
Hopefully he gets one at some point. 6:14 to go, and the Plainsmen will have to punt with Broken Arrow leading 42-13. Priest has thrown it quite a bit tonight, but he's been inefficient. 10 for 24, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. And we saw what he can do when he dropped that one in the basket on the touchdown.
Right.
That was a beautiful pass,
right.
But he's been inconsistent.
Very much so.
Snap is back. The punt is away. It's an end-over-end kick. He kicked the near side of the ball. It bobs straight up in the air off the turf and then takes an Enid roll down to the 40-yard line of Broken Arrow.
Now, is this the same punter?
Mm-hmm. It's been the same guy the whole time.
But he's a right-footed punter.
He's a right-footed punter, and
I was
right,
wasn't I, when he went left and he punted right?
Yeah, I suspect so. And
I've never seen
that.
that.
It's essentially what he did right there. But we've seen earlier, I mean, he got all of the ball at one point and booted about 45 yards. That time he kind of kicked the back of the ball, and it went top spin on it. There's a flag down at the 50. I have no idea what that would be on a non-returned punt over there.
It's going to take these guys another 5-10 minutes to figure it out.
The only thing I can think of is some sort of jockeying from a gunner over on the far side and the guy trying to keep him from getting up the field. And they're marking it off against Broken Arrow, a hold against the Tigers. So they apparently held the gunner from going up the field.
How much talking do you have to do on a hold?
Especially one that, there's probably not going to be a bunch of dispute to it. All right.
Well, they're still talking.
Let's see. Who do we have in the game here? (31-28). Norman still leading. Here's the snap. Handoff over the right side. And a gain of about 3 yards with a new tailback in the game. That's Nate Jones who carried it over the right side.
That's a good run. Guy's a tough runner.
We saw Jones a little bit last week as well.
Uh-huh.
Also in the game right now for the Tigers, Josh McMillan in at receiver. We have Cade Matthews in there. New quarterback in the game is Otson Newell as well.
Well, the offense is doing it right by putting new people in there. Now coach them up.
A little miscommunication there. And a false start. Blythe Alexander into the game on the offensive line. Reed Adams is in there as well. We've got Riley Griffin, the senior, in on the left tackle spot. Will Hyde is in at the tight end position. 2nd down and 12 coming up here. They hand it off over the left side. Good run from Jones across the 30-yard line, powering his way forward across the 35 and brought down at the 36. Very solid run there.
Very good. I like watching him run. And I tell you, the line did a good job blocking there.
I think it's pretty safe to assume at this point that we've seen the last of Horn, Sanchez, Talley, and Spears-Jennings for the evening.
I hope so.
5 minutes to go in the game.
You don't want to get anybody hurt. We've won this game is what I'm saying. Now it's let them focus on the next way. Let's focus on these kids now.
Josh McMillan split out to the right side. 2 receivers left. Here's the snap. Hand off to Jones, trying to get around the left edge. No, they faked it. Newell kept it himself, and he's sacked back at the 30-yard line. Well, Newell faked me out, but he didn't fake the defense out all the way. Brought down for the loss.
It's okay. It was a good call, a good play, though. He just got, the guy just jumped up field on him.
That'll bring Seth Dodd and the punting unit out. Sterling Ramsey splits out left. Back to return is Maddox Mayberry. We haven't seen him back at all. Dodd's kick is away. It's a good punt. It is caught on his knees by Mayberry at the 30-yard line. And that's where Enid will take over 1st and 10. That was a bit dangerous, frankly, for Mayberry.
I know, but they've done a pretty good job at it just by not allowing the ball to bounce and roll forever. But you're right, that's very dangerous. Because the one thing you have to understand is when the ball's punted, it's our ball.
He very nearly gave it back to Broken Arrow. 42-13,
Right.
BA leads with 4 minutes remaining. Tigers looking to wrap this one up. Blake Priest still in at quarterback for Enid. He takes the snap. Quick throw to the far side. It's caught by Mayberry. Looking to get up the field on the wide receiver screen. Turns the corner and pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Give him 10, and that will be very close and likely will be a 1st down for Enid.
Good. Got to get Darian out of there.
Moss has been pretty beat up.
Yeah,
Even today he was down at one point, and he comes out to the sideline here.
He
Let's
doesn't need
see.
to be in there at all.
Seth McGuire into the game right now for Broken Arrow. There's what looked like an 87, maybe that was 97. If so, it's Devin Shaw out there on the defensive line. 1st down and 10, Enid. Here's the snap. They fake a pass, dump it on the screen over the right side. That's Mayberry again, who's wrapped up and brought down. It was a gain of about 5 yards on the play.
Nice
but
tackle.
A very good tackle from Sterling Ramsey.
Very nice tackle. That thing was going.
Ramsey and Franklin still in the game. Dodd in there still as well. And we also now have Max Barnes into the game at linebacker. Second and 5 for Enid. They hand it off straight up the middle. And first down yardage out to the 50-yard line and just a little bit into Broken Arrow territory. On the carry that time is Luke Rowell. Barnes got to him first and then got some help from his teammates as well. Darian Taylor in there right now defensively also. There's an 87 in the game, which I don't have on my roster on the travel squad today, so that we had another jersey swap in there somewhere. Handoff for Rowell straight up the middle and nowhere to go.
Nice.
Well played. On the tackle that time was Seth McGuire, the solo stop, and no gain on the play. It brings up 2nd down and 10 with less than 3 minutes to play. Some applause taking place over here on the near side. Let's go down to Ryan Wyckoff on the sidelines. Ryan, you were noting that applause as well.
Yeah, that applause down here is really just the first string guys cheering on their teammates, man. They
going deep, and it is intercepted up the middle of the field. Coming across the near side, that's Johnson, who finally got one across the 40-yard line. Stiff arms a man, and he's wrapped up out of bounds at midfield. Jalen Johnson goes up to get the interception, his first of the year, and he brings it all the way back out to midfield.
Yeah, something to note about Jalen Johnson is he was a running back last year for a couple quarters of the year,
and is able to make the big play. Of course, he played as a running back last year. Now he's playing defensive back. Meanwhile, we have Marion Horn, who played defensive back all year last year and is obviously making the big impact offensively during this current season. Newell back in the game at quarterback, and the Tigers have a chance potentially to run the rest of the clock out here if they can get a first down or two. They get the formation set up. 2 tight ends. Here's the snap. Handoff left side. Sidesteps a man. Jones sprints out of a tackle. Still trying to push his way forward and brought down across the 45-yard line around the 44 of Enid. Give him 7 on the play.
Very nice.
Nate Jones with another strong run for Broken Arrow.
Tough run. I thought he was going to surf that and get out there in the open.
Alan Scarborough checks into the game at running back. Cade Matthews out there as well. Splitting out to the left side is C.J. Bryant. 2 tight ends in the game. They hand it off to Scarborough on the left side. Steps through a tackle across the 40-yard line and brought down at the 36. That will move the chains with under 90 seconds to play. And the Tigers ticking down the final moments of clock here on their way to a staunch win.
Well, that's good. He's put 2 tight ends in the game, 2 wide receivers, 1 back, and that's just balancing the defense, and we're just running the football.
If the Tigers can get 2 more yards in the ground game, that would surpass 200 as a team today, including the yardage lost via sacks over the course of this game offensively. Tigers have run it well tonight. 2 tight ends in the game. Handoff right side. Scarborough hops his way through the line of scrimmage, and he gains about 3 yards down to the 33-yard line.
We're about to pop these things, too.
Yeah, they're already still. Those guys are getting to the second level before they're getting hit.
I know. It's impressive.
42 seconds remaining. Broken Arrow will pick up its 4th win of the district season. Pardon me. Head into postseason time with some momentum. 1 more snap. Newell lost it, somehow able to get it back. And he's pushed backwards for a loss. That'll be the last play, and it'll also be something they can show Newell on film, because that's one, just dive on it. Don't try to pick it up with the left hand, just jump down on that. Santa Fe has taken the lead over Norman with 5 minutes to play, 35-31, but Norman's still in that game. See if the Norman Tigers can pull it out and pull Broken Arrow even with Santa Fe on the year. That'll end it here, 42-13. Broken Arrow wins it over Enid. The Tigers improving to 5-3 on the year. Excuse me, 6-3 on the year. Pick up their 4th win of district play in what was a pretty solid performance start to finish for the Tigers tonight over Enid, 42-13. We'll get some post-game comments, we hope, here in just a moment. But Spav, as you think back over the game that we just watched, the Tigers, again, they jump out early. and then pretty well dominated from start to finish.
No doubt.
There weren't a whole lot of just real flashy big plays, but the Tigers were just consistently better over the course of 4 quarters.
No doubt. I mean, in all phases, special teams, we're so dangerous in special teams. Defense really did a great job on their third down conversions and some things. And offense just was outstanding like they always are. So that was just really an outstanding night.
Tigers get 198 yards on the ground total as a team. Sanchez Banks carried it 16 times for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Marion Horn 13 totes for 78 yards. 2 carries for Alan Scarborough for 11 yards, 3 for Keon Barnett for 10 yards, 3 for Nate Jones for 8 yards in the process as well.
Yeah, some of the things that, we need to really focus on going into the playoffs now is just our pass protections. We really need to do a better job on that. So this way we don't have to max protect, but we need to really solidify our pass protections. We need to really focus on that throwing game a little bit more. We just weren't there where we need to be, and that's just going to be real important as we go to the playoffs.
The passing game tonight statistically Raines 8 for 16 for 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So not bad, but could be a little more efficient. And he spread the ball around okay. Spears Jennings, 6 catches. He had a massive game. 6 catches for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was
so fun to
phenomenal.
watch,
Yep. J.L. Talley, 2 catches for 26 yards in that game as well. Barnett and Banks were both targeted as well, but neither were able to haul in a pass. But let's talk about R.J. Spears Jennings for a minute, because he made some big-time contested catches. He made plays after contact, breaking tackles. He pretty much did everything he could from his wide receiver spot tonight.
There's no doubt. And, he can block. We've seen that as well. He is an all-around receiver, one that just has soft hands, can catch anything. He runs great routes, and he's open a lot of times, and the underneath stuff is because he's such a deep threat. But there's so many things that young man can do, and I tell you what, he's getting a lot of, like you said, yards after catch, but he's got a lot of wiggle to him where he can really make himself, really dangerous when he has the ball in the open field.
Let's go down to the sideline and Ryan Wyckoff, who's with Coach Alexander. Ryan?
Well, Coach, you see a much improved Enid team here tonight. Talk to me about their game and what you guys came up against tonight.
Team improve as much as Coach Woods' Enid team has from last year to this year. 11 guys on defense play soundly. We got turnovers. We played on special teams in the passing game. So, I don't want to be disappointed in a score as big as it was. But we're going to the playoffs. We're trying to be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that was my next question. What kind of areas of growth did you see from tonight? I know the offense got off to a little bit of a slow start, but what do you see that are big wins for your team from tonight?
A couple things, right? First, Robert Spears Jennings has realized that he's bigger than everybody else on the field. In the past, up until a couple weeks ago, he just thought he was a receiver. Well, yeah, he is a receiver, but he is a big, strong man. And, I think that bodes well for him going to the playoffs. And interceptions, and turnovers, right? We struggled the whole season to get turnovers until last week. And maybe this streak of getting some turnovers will continue into the playoffs.
Thanks, Coach. We'll see you in the playoffs. Great win.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know if you guys heard all that. I know we're kind of cutting out a little bit, but Coach just talking about not being necessarily disappointed, but definitely some areas for growth for this team.
Which is not a bad way to go into the playoffs, to be honest, to get a big win and know that there were still some things that you can show on film need to work on. But Spav, one thing that stood out to me about what Coach said there was R.J. Spears Jennings realizing that he's bigger than everyone else on the field. A smart coach once said, figure out where you can dominate and then do that all the time, and Spears Jennings did that tonight.
Yeah, and there's no doubt, just as we were talking about earlier, That's a great analogy, what he was saying, but it's he's just special. He's just a special player, and you just love watching people like that play.
The final score tonight, 42-13. Broken Arrow wins it over Enid. A big thanks to everyone involved tonight. Terry Sprider getting things done and pushing the buttons and turning the knobs. Jeremy Bryan, our spotter tonight. Ryan Wyckoff down on the sidelines. A big shout out to Nolan Couch, who basically hauled everything up here. It's like it's like 2.5 or 3 stories worth of stairs, and he had all this set up before we really got here, and so he did the bulk of the heavy lifting, hauling all this stuff up the stairs. So a big shout out to Nolan tonight for getting the job done, and we'll get him a little help taking the stuff back down. Maybe I'll build a slide back down to the trunk of the car or something. But 42-13, Broken Arrow wins it over Enid. And Spav, before we get out of here, it's a little hard to believe that we've played an entire regular season. We only missed one game due to the pandemic,
right?
And we've suddenly played 9 games of football. It seems like yesterday we were getting to play for the first time.
I know, because I was just thinking about that just the other day. I was just going, Enid, I'm going, it's our last game, before we go to the playoffs, and I'm like, it's gone so rapid, and it's been fun with you, and you've done a great job.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and it's certainly been a blast to be part of this broadcast. It's fun to be around people who care about what they do and care about doing the best job they can to promote what's happening on the field, and these student athletes who are out there working hard every week, putting everything out on the line, and not only doing that, but this year also showing the discipline to stay safe and try to do as many things to social distance and all those things to be able to even play football. And so to tell those stories over the course of this year has been awesome, and the great thing is we're not done yet. The playoffs start next week, God willing, and we'll be looking forward to bringing you that one as well as soon as everything shakes out. Frankly, we don't know who the opponent will be yet. There's some things to figure out, but we'll be looking forward to bringing it to you when the playoffs get underway next week.
So we got one goal now, and that's just win your last game.
Win your last game. Only one team gets to do it.
That's it.
This year, because everyone makes the playoffs. So
that's right.
We'll see what happens. 42-13, the final tonight. The Tigers win their final regular season contest over Enid. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. For Ryan Wyckoff at the sidelines, Steve Spavital next to me, I'm Adam Hildebrand saying good night and God bless from Enid.